1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
The game is ended, and now we begin. It's Game Day Uncensored, Postgame edition. Real talk, real reaction, real opinions for real Miami football fans on FM 104.3 WQAM, Miami sports leader.
Another week for the Dolphins. Yet another week for the Dolphins, where neither team wants to win. No. 2 weeks ago in Madrid, Dolphins and Commanders, go for it. Don't kick a field goal. Don't do the common sense thing. This week, Dolphins, Saints, Saints look like they almost recovered an onside kick as the score is currently 21-17. You think the game is over. The Saints recover the onside kick, but it might have only gone 9.5 yards, not the 10 yards required to recover an onside kick for the kicking team. They are reviewing it right now. Nonetheless, no, he did not get it. So it looks like the Dolphins are going to hold on. And we're going to take your calls, 305-567-0560. Call in with your celebration or frustration for this Dolphins team. Here's how I want to start. I'm Dan Day, by the way. Robert Grieper is joining me. No doubt to me that the Saints were going to lose to the Miami Dolphins today. The Miami Dolphins are all in all a better team, have a better scheme. I would hope have a better quarterback. Just have an all in all better team there at home, no doubt. The only question was, how are they going to look in their win? Was it going to look good and impressive? Or was it going to look... It was the latter. No doubt. The Dolphins are on a 3-game win streak. 4 of the last 5. The only thing is this. Is it a 3-game win streak 4 of the last 5 where you say, all right, this team's really, really figuring it out and they're looking better, they're playing their best football? Or is it a 3-game win streak and 4 of the last 5 where you go, more of the latter? No doubt. Tua Tagovailoa is leading this team. The only question is he leading you with confidence and with good play and with leadership at the microphone on and off the field? Or is he and leading the league in interceptions once again?
I was kind of wondering where he's actually leading them to.
3-game win streak. Once again, the latter. No doubt. Mike McDaniel, his play calling is pretty good for the most part. But is it play calling where you just sit there and say, yes, yes, yes? But are there parts where you go, what are you doing? The latter. Today is an example of everything the Dolphins have been these past couple of games. And what you say is good enough. Hey, look, I'll take the win. You always take the win. A win is a win is a win is a win. But the Saints did now just recover the onside kick. They have a guy from Ireland in his first NFL game nailing 56-yarders and converting onside kicks. Once again, this Dolphins team seems like they don't want to win. They might find a way to win because the other team doesn't seem like they want to win. And by the way, let's be honest, they haven't played the best of the best teams, although they did beat the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, the ball went off a Dolphin, and that's what made it count.
Once again, so neither team wanting to win. Saints don't want to recover it the required 10 yards that you need to. The Dolphins don't want to have to let them worry about that by accidentally touching the ball. So now we hold our breath for 1:15. The score is 21-17, and the only reason it's 21-17 is because the Saints were going to go for a 2-point conversion, but Minkah Fitzpatrick intercepted it and took it to the house. So now, once again, Tyler Shuck, not the greatest quarterback, at least not yet. He is a rookie. He looks like a rookie out there. Tua did not look very good today either. He has no excuses. So at least Tyler Shuck has excuses. If Tyler Shuck leads a comeback and the Saints beat the Dolphins, first of all, I want to hear from you. 305-567-0560. You know what? I'm not going to be the person tonight scared when the phone rings. If the Saints lose this game, I'm sorry, born and raised in New Orleans. If the Dolphins lose this game as the Saints are driving down to the 35-yard line, they're 35 yards away from scoring. Now, they need a touchdown instead of a field goal. Looming very large, by the way, that interception by Minkah Fitzpatrick. If that ends up being the play of the game, which right now it looks like because they have a kicker that can kick a 56-yard field goal, the Dolphins, Chris Olave just nearly caught a touchdown pass in the end zone.
And he's been balling lately.
He has been balling. He was through double coverage. Now, I don't know why neither quarterback. Oh, he should have caught that pass, by the way. He should have caught that pass. Dolphins,
you know the rule. If it's in your hands, it's a catch.
Dolphins continually dodge bullets, although the major bullet is not dodged. 3rd and 1 right now for the New Orleans Saints on the 35-yard line. 39 seconds to go. They do need a touchdown to win. They cannot tie this game. This Dolphins team has made this game way more competitive than it is. Another huge lead lost. They were up 16-0 on the New Orleans Saints at halftime. New Orleans Saints have come out. Okay, so now it's going to be 4th down. New Orleans Saints have come out like most teams. Another thing to worry about this Miami Dolphins. Coaching staff does Mike McDaniel go in at halftime if the Dolphins are leading and go, well, we're up 16-0, so everything's going right. Logic would say we're going to win 32-0. Let's just keep it up. Let's go. Seems like every other coach in the league goes out there at halftime, and I know that's not what Mike McDaniel does, but every other team goes in at halftime, makes some adjustments, and you saw terrible Saints team, less terrible Saints team in the second half. Good Dolphins team in the first half. Second half, not such a good Dolphins team. This is 4th and 1 right now. Do the Saints run it? Do they try to pass it? Do they try to go with the whole fake and then throw it deep? They go, oh, he did not get it. So the Dolphins are going to hold on to win this game by the skin. And this, oh, no. Once again, neither team seems like they want to win this game. No, they're good. Okay. It's looking like no. So the Dolphins do hold on a 4th and 1, and the Miami Dolphins are going to win this game. That one, if you're a Dolphins fan, way too close for comfort against a team that many people agree is probably the worst team in the NFL.
I don't know. I'm going to pull a Milli Vanilli line and just blame it on the rain.
Was it the rain? This is a team that I honestly, before the game started, and I know both teams very well. As I said, born and raised in New Orleans. I'm a Miami guy now. I live here. I told my mom, Big Lynn, I said, Big Lynn, you might be able to turn this thing off at the middle of the 3rd quarter. It might be 31-7. And it looked like the Saints couldn't get in the end zone for anything. And they made it a game with a rookie quarterback in Tyler Shuck, who I don't think is the quote unquote answer. And the TV announcers, I'll tell you, they were a Saints TV announcing crew. They like the Saints a lot. Now, they did not like Tua Tagovailoa's throwing today. I'm sure a lot of Dolphins fans did not like Tua Tagovailoa's throwing today. And all in all, just that Saints team has nothing special. They're a very, very bad team. But the Dolphins, look, the facts are the facts. 4th win in the last 5. They started the season 1-6. Are you a Dolphins fan right now celebrating? Look, wins. And we are going to celebrate the win. It is true. They won. Are you a Dolphins fan saying they look terrible and they're barely beating bad teams? Are you a Dolphins fan saying, more of the same, 7-10, 8-9, 305?
What's going to happen Monday night when they play the Steelers?
Once again, we've also heard this. Now, this could be the problem the Dolphins have is they play up and down to their competition. They might go in Pittsburgh Monday night, cold weather, rainy, it could be anything. Go in there and win the game. I don't know. At this point, Mike McDaniel has probably got this game plan of let's just find any way to win. And they did at home against a very bad Saints team in the rain. Let them make a comeback in the second half, up 16-0 at halftime. In the second half, oh my goodness, it was Devon Achane, maybe Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane. And Mike McDaniel does that, and that's okay. Then they get down in a goal-to-go situation or in the red zone. What do they do? 3 passes in a row, having everyone go, what are you doing?
Yeah, Waller doesn't know where his feet are. That
is true. I don't think that was 100% on Tua, so I'll tell you, on Tua's interception, too, I don't want to really get into too much like, oh, it was a terrible throw. That's what everybody says to do. When you have a team down, what was it? At the time, I'm trying to see if it was 16-0 or if it was 10-0. Well, no, that's what happened. You were up. I'm trying to see. Rasul Douglas gets the interception. Okay, so Minkah Fitzpatrick steps up, gets that strip sack. At that point, you're up 10-0. Everybody says, yeah, for next play, go for the jugular. You put the Saints down 17-0 after a turnover. That's it. Maybe don't throw it into double coverage, but nope. Kool-Aid McKinstry gets the interception, turns it right back around on you. This is a team that you were up. You're a better team up, and you won 16. You were up 16-0 at halftime. Once again. Ugh. Are you a Dolphins fan saying a win is a win is a win is a win? I'm celebrating. At the same time, you're a Dolphins fan saying There's a little bit of context in this. 305-567-0560. Let's go to the phone lines. 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is TJ from Flagler Beach.
Hey, TJ, what's on your mind?
Man, show me the money too. 12 of 23, 1 interception.
You liked it?
I love it.
You loved
no, it's a sloppy win. I mean, we'll take the win,
Right.
but I mean, it was ugly. It was very ugly, man.
2 weeks in a row.
And I mean, you're coming off a bye week. You're playing the Saints.
Yeah.
You're playing the Aints. We made them look like the 85 Bears at times. I don't get it.
I was very nervous that the Saints drove down the field. They got that touchdown. Give credit to Devin Fale. He is a baller. Caught that pass in the back of the end zone. I was like, well, shucks, not that great. He's not going to get the 2-point conversion. And lo and behold, Minkah Fitzpatrick, quote unquote, saved the day with that 2-point conversion interception.
He did, but I mean, and then right in the last, I think it was a bad call. They didn't recover that onside kick. I don't think.
They said it touched somebody.
For the
Dolphins.
It was close. I mean, this game was too close, man. This does not inspire confidence at all.
You're not playing the New England Patriots. You're not playing the Kansas City Chiefs, although Kansas City is having a weird year. But you're not playing a world beater. You are playing a team that I have seen get murdered this year by the likes of the Rams, the Atlanta Falcons. This is a team at times this game looked like they couldn't do anything. Tua, though, was off today. He was off.
I don't get it. I don't know what's up with the consistency. I mean, I don't know. And so it's very disappointing. It's not what you want from your $50 million quarterback for sure.
TJ, I've thought about this over and over again, and maybe he calls me crazy. Maybe, football guy. Maybe I'm a football nerd. Maybe I'm just too introspective. You know what I'm starting to think? It's not just Tua, something's wrong with his arm, something's wrong with his head. I think Tua and a lot of these quarterbacks and coaches in the league, their coaches go there and say, whatever you do, just don't lose the game for me. Just don't take risks. Throw it safe, because the only gunslingers we have in this league are the guys that are elite that aren't worried about it. We got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes does a little bit, Jordan Love. I really think Tua's been told to just play it safe. And it's not just Tua and Mike McDaniel. I think it's a lot of these quarterbacks now we see 150, 170 yards a game. Like, I think they're scared.
You're right, man. You're right. They're playing scared, but I mean, you're never going to get to a Super Bowl or even make a playoff push playing scared.
Nope. That's it. High risk, high reward. That's why you see the best quarterbacks. They make some dunderheaded plays, but at least they come back and back it up, and they're not afraid to go downfield and scare people. You think Dan Marino would sit there and say, I better not take a risk and better just check it down because I don't want to cost us the game? No. And I just think it's the way the league's going right now. And I think that Tua is a victim of that because he was not like that in the past. And people keep saying, that's the Tua of old, that pass right there. And now it's like, but hey, look, it's a win.
He has plays like there's like a 5-yard bootleg is like a 3rd and 1 or something, and he throws it way behind Julian Hill. And I'm like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, he made me feel bad for Julian Hill. He had a couple really off passes, and he's going to blame. You can blame it on the rain. Blame it on the rain. You can blame it on anything, but at the end of the day, you have to point the finger at yourself. He threw some bad passes. He ran some bad plays.
It'd be fine if he wasn't taking up so much of the salary cap, and then you could pay for other additions. But when you take up that much of the salary cap, you gotta.
You're right, TJ.
To cover up for it.
TJ, I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. What did he say in the offseason when he was trying to get that contract? The market is the market. And I keep going right back to him. The standard is the standard. If I'm paying you over $50 million a year, I want you to play like a $50 million a year quarterback.
Yes, I'm saying show me the playoff wins, That's what I want to see.
One more thing before you go, TJ. When you're getting paid $50 million a year, there should not even be an ounce of an argument of who was the better quarterback in the game today.
Exactly. You're right. Right about that, man. 100%.
And today, a Saints fan could make an argument for Tyler Shuck. A Dolphins fan could make an argument for Tua Tagovailoa. That is not good.
No. Thank God for A-Chain, right?
Woo! Please don't get hurt. Please don't get hurt.
A-Chain needs to start negotiating his contract now.
Have a sit-in during the season. Hey, we'll see you now. We're on a win streak, though. We're feeling good. 305-567-0560. Back to the phone lines at 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Andy from Hialeah. How are you, Dan?
Oh, glad to have you there, Andy. What's going on?
What's going on? Hey, watching Tua over the year, knowing that he's a quarterback when it's time to take advantage of the bad teams, At some point he has, but this season we have seen it being consistent where the bad teams have been in place to beat the Miami Dolphins. We saw it against the Jets. We saw it today of 16-0, throwing an interception. We shouldn't be surprised that this is happening. We know actually what Tua it is. We all know. Like, he's getting paid the big bucks, but Tua, I don't know. And I'm a Tua guy, but to me, after that Washington game and watching this game today, it just tells me, you know what? The Dolphins do have a huge problem coming up because piling up the wins come draft time, when we need to make a move for potentially getting a quarterback or a replacement, that's going to be something hard to do.
Yeah.
With where we're at right now.
Yeah, Andy, Tua's going to get there at the end of the press conference, and we're going to play it later on tonight around 7:15. He's going to say, hey, we're just stacking wins. That's all that matters. If we play good enough to win, that's all I'm worried about. And in a way, I hear his argument, but in another way, we need you to affect a win a little bit more because that's the way you're going to be really successful in this league. And Andy, it's still a win. It just, I did not see this game even being in the balance. Did you, Andy, at any point before the game started, this game was ever going to be in the balance outside of the first quarter or second quarter?
When you saw, like, you're up 16-0, and we all seen the New Orleans Saints how they struggled throughout the year. Yeah. To me, not being able, I don't know what it is, but there's something about the Miami Dolphins, the bad teams that they should literally just outright win without a struggle is not something that the Miami Dolphins have been able to do. It's a constant issue. It's been a constant issue for a very, very long time. And it's just any given Sunday, New Orleans could have won that game. I had a feeling. I had to step at home. I had a feeling New Orleans was going to come back.
Thank you, Andy. You're not the only one that's a Dolphins fan that stepped out of the room and said, I just can't watch this again. I guarantee you that. This is the thing we've been noticing with these Dolphins, and Robert Grieper, maybe you can back me up on this. They play up to their competition. They play down to their competition. What is that a sign of? A very middle of the line team.
I was going to say it's a bigger sign of bad coaching, to be honest. Because just like you mentioned earlier, is that you're not seeing any improvements or any changes coming out of the locker room. Throughout the game, you're not seeing it. And you're wondering, I mean, the team is supposedly playing hard for McDaniel, but how far does that get you? It doesn't get you very far. And unfortunately, when you're playing down in competition, you just played a middling, actually pretty much in the crapper Commanders team. You played in the crapper whose team and the Saints are already on the clock. I mean, this is ridiculous. And now you're going to play the Jets next week, who just won a game in overtime. But still,
have no doubt they will come out and play very well next week on Monday night against the Pitt. Oh no, they play the
Jets next week, and then they play Steelers the week after that.
The week after that.
So you have one more crappy week coming up here.
But the guys are winning. They're winning. They're 5-7. They're winning.
And what does it say for the future of your team?
One game at a time. Get ready for the Jets as you beat the Saints 21-17.
Because the whole big thing is that Mr. Ross is saying that, well, I like what we have here, and we got building blocks for the future, and blah 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 blah. What does what you're seeing out there right now portend for the future? It doesn't look good.
Got a lot of young players out there. Maybe they're learning their way. They're stepping up. We shall see. 305-567-0560. Back to the phone lines. 104.3 FM, WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Go ahead. Hello? Going once?
Mr. Ross. Hello?
Hey, you're in Toronto?
I like what we have here, and we got building blocks for the future.
What?
We got building blocks for the future. He likes what we have here. So, okay, we do have building blocks for the future. Kenneth Grant, Jonas Savina, Patrick Paul got work today, by the way. I got to admit. Now, going up against Chase Young, who's having a great season, But if everybody's sitting there saying Patrick Paul's all pro, you can't let him go. He got worked by Chase Young. But
it does happen, even to the best of them out there.
305-567-0560. Back to the phone lines. 1043 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Cade, calling from Boston.
Cade, what's on your mind?
How are we, man? How are we?
I'm happy we
Hey,
won.
I got two things. I got two quick things to say. Long-time listener, big Dolphins fan. First one here, talking about Zeke Biggers, someone that's got cut for the first 8 weeks. I wouldn't say cut, maybe not started. I don't know if that was Chris Greer's doing. Mike McDaniel, I loved everything I saw from him today at the 3 technique. He was amazing. So definitely a building block there for us in the future. Lastly, can I just get your opinion on a 4th down conversion? I mean, we played Devon Achane every snap of every game, and it's the biggest play of the game, and I love Ollie Gordon, but Ollie Gordon comes onto the field for the first time. It just doesn't make sense to me. So we'd love to hear what you got to say, and long-time listener.
I'm glad you said that. Mike McDaniel, his play calling drives me crazy when he does this thing. Drive down the field. They Achane. They get into the red zone. What do? 1st and goal, pass. Nope. 2nd and goal, pass. Nope. 3rd and goal, sack. Chase Young. And even the announcers on TV are like, why would you not just keep feeding Achane the ball? He was getting 10, 11 yards at a time. This is in the 3rd quarter. Or 4th quarter, I'm sorry. This is the 4th quarter. They're like, and even the announcers are saying, throw away every pass play, Mike McDaniel, that you have in your book and just give the ball to Achane and just run this clock. Next play, pass play. So then, 4th down, 4th and inches. Once again, Robert Grieber, we had a call last week. I'm going to go with the logic. You only need a couple inches. Give it to your big, strong back. My thinking is this. You only need a couple inches. Give it to your best GD player.
Well, if that's the case, why don't you just continue to do the 6 offensive lineman run skill out there and pound the ball in there that way? I mean, that's what I don't understand. I mean,
Ollie Gordon II, let's be honest. He's a rookie.
Yes, he is.
He hadn't figured it all out yet. I'm not saying he's not good, but we keep thinking he's just this wily Leroy Horde. Coach, if you need 3 yards, Coach, if you need 2 yards, I'll get you 3. If you need 5 yards, I'll get you 3. He's not even that wily yet. I don't understand why. And I understand why you're somebody, an old school football head is saying, give the ball to Ollie Gordon II. He's your big running back. He's your big power sled. Give it to your best player who always gets yards. It frustrates me. And that's why you let the Saints come right down your throat, catch a touchdown pass, and have a rookie throw an INT for the 2-point conversion. Mike McDaniel, I sit there and I watch these things, Grieper, and I say, great job. He understands the game. Achane, he understands defense. He understands this. And then right as you're giving him all this credit, he goes and does something totally stupid like that.
No, but he's an offensive genius. He's a guru, as you know. I mean, he's supposed to know everything. I mean, it kind of harkens back to, and I hate to say this, but I don't know if you remember the Super Bowl with the Seahawks and the Patriots, where you have the ball on the goal line, and what do? You throw the ball instead of giving it to Marshall Faulk right up the center. That's kind of the exact same way that I see it. Is that conventional logic tells you exactly what you need to do. What's working? Continue doing what's working.
Yeah, remember that was a.
Oh no, we're gonna get cutesy here and go even smarter than everybody else. And we're going to go with something different.
Yeah, the Super Bowl. Marshawn Lynch, you got one of the biggest, strongest, most powerful running backs in NFL history.
Why we want to do
pass
that?
the ball.
But that's the same thing with Mike McDaniel. I don't understand why. It's like I'm an Ivy Leaguer. I know more than you do because I'm an offensive genius.
I don't
really
get it. I don't. Like I said, 90% of the time, I'm cool with his play calls. But the 10% of the time I'm not cool with his play calls are infuriating. It's a pass punt. We did it on 3rd down, so it's not a big deal. Then Grieper, what does he do the next week? The quote-unquote pass punt on 1st down. What are you doing today? Put Devon Achane in the game. He hadn't been stopped hardly at all. No, let's get OG's second cold off the bench and have him dance around in the hole. It was his own fault. He danced around. But once again, you're getting cutesy. You put yourself in those positions. You drive down the field, Devon Achane. You hadn't made one pass the whole time. You get in the red zone. You try 3 pass plays in a row. You get stopped. You have to kick a field goal. It drives me crazy. 305-567-0560. You're not driving me crazy. 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jackson, calling from South Carolina.
Glad to hear from you, Jackson. What's going on, brother?
So what's up, Dan Day? How you doing today, man?
I'm happy. It's just, I thought, Jackson, I ain't gonna lie. I thought I'd be talking to you this afternoon. I was like, whoa, 35-7, the Dolphins roll. And I thought at first that's the way it was going to be. And then but I'm okay. I'm happy. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Yeah, it's a crazy game today, man. I thought we were going to put up like 40.
I thought so too.
The Saints are like the worst off in the NFL. And we let them score 17 points on us. And also the defense did great in that final possession with the Saints on that onside kick.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped them on 4th down. I'm really happy about the defense that did that. But the offense did just pathetic a little bit, I feel like. Because you're right. Why do we give a ball to the rookie even though we're giving the ball to A-Chain, and he gets like 10, 11 yards running this over the Saints defense like they're clowns or something. And it's just crazy because you give the ball to a rookie that didn't even get a touch, and you're giving the ball to a 3-year running back
who's probably going to be all pro this year.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and he has like a touchdown today, and you don't give him the ball on a 4th and 1, probably the biggest play of the game here, and you just sacrifice maybe another loss if we would have lost that game. If Mika Fitzpatrick didn't get that interception, it was pretty much the offense fault and McDaniel's fault.
Yeah, they kicked a ton of field goals, Jackson. I'm not going to lie. The only bright thing was Devon Achane in this game, really, on the offensive side.
And one more thing. Tua's a great QB. He's one of the best. But let me tell you something. What he does on 3rd down, he gets the ball. Nobody's wide open. Just throw it away. Who cares? We'll take another field goal. Just throw it away.
Oh, yeah. How'd you feel about his little slide? He thought he was slick. He got the slide. He slided too early and didn't get the first down. It's like, but he talks about how he doesn't play scared. He doesn't worry about that. Frustrating, but nonetheless a win. Taking one more phone call, then we're going to take a break and take some more of your phone calls. So hold with us. 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM, WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Dan, it's Steve from Sunrise. How you doing, buddy?
Steve, I'm happy for the win. I'm just kind of a little bewildered right now, but happy that we won. Onward and upward.
And this is what I love you, man. But this is what I'm going to disagree with you right now. I'm a little disappointed in you because, one, being a Saints, that you know about the Saints, how bad they are.
Yes.
And if this is a win that you're even happy about, if this is a win that anybody's happy about, is this the bar that the Dolphins have set, that you guys are happy about a win like this and a win against the Commanders? Where do you go from here? This tough decisions could have been made. This whole thing could have been scrapped. You could have started over. All you've done is cost yourself draft picks. All you've done is cost yourself mediocrity for the next more years. And at what point do wins like this stop satisfying you?
I understand. You're one of those Dolphins fans, and there are a lot that feel that way. Like, what are we doing here? And I will admit to you, I grew up watching the Saints, and I keep an eye on both the Dolphins and the Saints. They are a bad team. They are really, really bad. They didn't have Alvin Kamara today. Tyler Shaw is not the answer.
I got one question for you, Dan, about since you're a Saints guy. The kicker, they talked about Joe Rose, and the other one was talking about, and Jimmy Seflo were talking about how he won out in preseason, but today was his first, not field goal attempt. How was this his first field goal attempt today?
He was never activated for the team.
Okay, so he wasn't on the team this whole time, even though he went out in preseason?
He was in preseason. They said he would show up and kick, and they really liked him, but he just never went out the job. And then they booted the last kicker, pardon the pun, and he came out there from an Irish guy. He's only been playing professional American football, or as you want to say, United States football, for like 2 years. Yeah. But he sure looked at all the part of that 56-yard field goal, and I wish we had a 56-yard field goal kicker.
Yeah. One more thing, Dan, I'll tell you, I think this is better than Dolphins losing. I think the media, seeing those Dolphin fans excited about this win just makes it all, this is who the Dolphin fans and Dolphins are. Mediocre.
Steve, my prediction before the game was that the Dolphins were going to win 35-7, and the Saints would struggle to get 7 points that is a far cry from what actually happened. And that's not good because this Saints team, like I told you, is really bad. And this win, we'll see in the grand scheme of things where it comes to help or hurt the Dolphins. But you ask your team every week, go out there and win, go out there and win. That's what they're doing. It's going to catch up to them, maybe, maybe not. The win streak, though, continues. We want to hear from you, 305-567-0560. Robert Grieper, Dan Day. We'll be back right after this on 104.3 FM, WQAM.
WQAM broadcast. Now, let's get back to the Game Day Uncensored postgame show on FM 104.3 WQAM, Miami's sports leader.
Dolphins do defeat the New Orleans Saints today. Final score, 21-17. Dolphins are currently on a 3-game win streak. 4 of the last 5. You should say, all right, we're feeling good. Just doesn't feel that great. Feels like, well, we did, but
we're playing a bunch of teams that are on the clock right now. That's what we're doing.
And for those that say, just be happy with the win, I am happy with this win, but I'm also a little discouraged. It just doesn't feel as fulfilling as I wanted it to. And maybe that's a me problem and not a Dolphins problem. You're in the hunt, but 305-567-0560. Back to the phone lines at 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name's Donnie. I'm calling from Canton, New York, right on the Canadian border.
Oh, Donnie. I bet we have nicer weather than you do right now.
Oh, you sure do. It's blustery, cold, and snowy today. Listen, I was listening to the show, and that one guy did have a point, but I would like to counter his point when he kind of got on you about your attitude towards the team and stuff, what's going on. I've been a Dolphins fan since 1970, and the years that we've gone through with sniffing, with the Shula years into the Jimmy Johnson years, and then the chaotic mess with all the coaches that came and went and all that. What's happened to the fan base, I believe it, at least this is what's happened to me, is when you get beat up and hurt by your team so many times, it's just so hard to get us back. Even with today's win, I'm watching people say a pathetic win. A win is a win, but yeah, I was a little bit let down. I thought we would have had a more concerted effort to just put them away and run out the clock, if you will, and just be done with it. But any given Sunday, and the Saints have had our number in the past. Where do we go from here? I don't know. I do know that Tua, there's something wrong with that guy. They're holding back something from us as fan base. He's not throwing the ball well. He just doesn't look good. And really, week in and week out, especially this year with the head coach, with his crazy play calling, the bubble screens every other play, the timeouts at the wrong time, just some of the snafus that he's gone through. And as a fan base, and even myself, we ain't seeing too much change. They fired a couple of people, but they've done nothing on the field to kind of turn the tide with the fan base, turn the tide with the people who scrutinize them. They've done nothing to help themselves.
Yeah, Donnie, I understand where you're coming from with that. Is this fan base so spurned and been burned so many times in the past that it's hard to just celebrate a win for what it is? Sure, if they would have come out there and won 21-17, you'd say, okay, I mean, it's any given Sunday, but it's the little things, or not little things, sometimes even big things that have you worried about this team. Like, why has Tua not looked sharp? Why has Tua been outplayed kind of by a rookie quarterback today? Why is Mike McDaniel seemingly, when he's getting things going play calling wise, just totally changed things? Why aren't we giving Devon Achane the ball on a 4th and 1 that can end the game? Why, for the umpteenth time, has the other team come out of halftime looking like they made better adjustments than us? You start saying, let us just celebrate and win. Let us enjoy these wins. Maybe we're just too spurned. We've been burned too many times. We just can't go back that way, or they're going to have to earn it back. 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM, WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Again, it's Anthony from Long Island. How are you, my brother? Hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving and enjoyed your family.
Yeah, man. I'm glad. I hope you did too.
Thank you, sir. It was too much food, too much drink, but it's all good.
Well, you would hate yourself if you didn't get too much food and drink, though.
Amen, sir. Well said. Well said.
Go ahead.
So at the end of the day, win to win. Once again, I'm a veteran like you. I'm never going to not accept a win, but the quarterback played, it was atrocious today. I mean, sickening and atrocious. Mm-hmm. That man should really feel guilty about taking his paycheck because he was pathetic and horrible.
I feel bad for Julian Hill, man. Julian Hill could have caught a first down pass, but that was taken away from him because he threw it way behind him.
Well, Dan, I mean, all day. He was just off kilter from like when he put on his sock today. I mean, he was just horrendous. It was obviously to all of us really bad. Once again, we fall back in the draft status, but you know what? Like you, I'm old school. I'm going to take the victory if we can get it. Defense played okay. I got to be honest with you. Kenneth Grant coming along looks like he's, Okay, he's not going to be defensive rookie of the year, but he's definitely playing a lot better. I think that there's some little bit of positive signs. I'm going to try to be as positive as I can. But, at the end of the day, an ugly, ugly, ugly win. I'll hear your thoughts.
I think that might be Mike McDaniel's style this year. That might be his game plan. Just muck it up and try to find a way to win, make them ugly, try to get them at the end, maybe get a little bit lucky. I don't know if that's very sustainable, but you are right. Chop Robinson got a sack. Zeke Biggers played really well today, and that's a 7th-round pick. That's a rookie. So maybe the defense is coming along. Maybe the offense has figured things out, a.k.a. give it to Devon Achane and get out of the way, because he seems to be an unstoppable force. At this point in the season, people have to know it's going to Devon Achane a whole lot, and he's still getting a whole lot. Going over 1,000 yards for the season. Congratulations to him. He has been the one thing that has not been frustrating at all this season. And for those that are worried about the draft stock, you have the right to be worried. Give it up. It's too late now. You're not getting a top pick. You're going to probably be in the middle of the first round. It's too late to start saying we need to lose so we can get these drafts. But now you got to just try to win as much as you can and maybe build a winning culture, which I think is more important a lot of times than draft picks. And as we go through the day, we'll talk about how some teams have been able to rebuild and how the Dolphins have done kind of the opposite. But I want to hear from you. 305-567-0560. Back to the phone lines. 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where you calling from? Oh, the phone's breaking up. One more time. Uh-oh. One more. Please try to call back. We want to hear from you. This is Game Day Uncensored. Now, that's not carte blanche to come in here. Sorry, I'm using French words. We're in New Orleans game. But you don't have carte blanche to just curse it up. But you can say exactly how you feel. If you want to come on and say, I love Tua, and I thought he had the greatest game of his career, you have the right to say that. If you want to bash people, that's okay. We want to hear your true, unfiltered, honest opinions. 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM, WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, brother. It's Wayne calling from Los Angeles.
Wayne, West Side. What's going on?
How you doing, man? I'm a fan since the late 70s. Not of your show, obviously. That's just recently, but the Dolphins.
Oh, man. I thought you were with me from then.
Yeah. Couple quick things for you. Dolphins will win over the Jets. Dolphins will probably beat the Steelers. And we're going to get all fired up, and we're going to be like, man, this is great. They're back. Right. And then they're going to let us down. Yep. That's just what they do. Previous caller rooting for losses for draft picks makes no sense to me. Of course, we wanted to draft, but you can't root for us to lose. Nope. That's just like hoping that your wife.
That's loser culture, and that's loser culture, and that's more dangerous than anything else you can do with an organization.
Yeah, it's like your wife rooting for the husband to get fired so he finds a better job. It's just not cool. And finally, I just want to say I don't like bubble wrap Tua. I know he has injury issues, but he's got to get out more. He's got to do some of those bootlegs, those rollouts, and obviously the smarter slides. I don't care what he says. He's playing scared, and I wish we'd see him get a little more football Tua like he was a couple of years ago. Even though we're at risk of the head and all that stuff. So he
really did look bad on that bootleg, though. I know Chase Young was kind of coming down on him a little bit, and then got him on the next play. He talked a lot. Did you see that? Chase Young kind of chased him down on that bootleg, and he said something to Chase Young, and Chase Young started laughing. I saw the camera caught it. Then Chase Young got him the next time and was cussing him out in his face, and the offensive lineman had to get between them. So I don't know. He looks kind of bad on the bootleg, too. Tua's just having a bad season. That's all we can really say right now. He has not figured things out. Maybe the injuries are catching up, but I also think, and pardon the pun, it's kind of the culture. Coaches now, unless you are the premier of most premier quarterbacks, just tell you, manage the game. Don't lose it for us. We'll find ways. And that's really seeped into Tua's psyche, and he is playing as a shell of himself. And it should not be a conversation of Tua Tagovailoa or Tyler Shuck, who played better today. When you're getting paid $50 million, they cannot be an argument. 305-567-0560. Let's take another call before we take a break. 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Go ahead. Miramar. What's going on?
Yay. What's going on, man?
Dolphins win.
Dolphins win. Well, you know what, man? I'm tired of always listening to the same old story all the time. We need to lose in order to get drafted. Do you know we can get good players in second and third and even fourth rounds too?
Yeah. Did you know what round Devon Achane was drafted in?
I think he dropped in the third round.
Third round. You're correct.
But listen, this is the thing. What I'm saying, I think I think he got a arm injury. I just think so. He's not the same player that played the 2 good years that we were watching. He's not the same, and we have to come to the realization that something is definitely wrong with his arm. But they don't want to tell us until the end of the season. I guarantee. I almost. I'm not going to say guarantee. I can almost say that he's going to take a surgery at the end of the season with his arm, because something is wrong with his arm. You know,
something's definitely wrong with Tua, because he is not the player he has been. He has digressed over the past 2 years.
Everybody see that. I wouldn't say he's even less than 50% of himself. And this is the next thing the last point I want to make. As they say, any given Sunday, a team can beat a team.
Right.
You can say, today is that for the Saints. We get the win. Oh, we didn't even win impressive. But guess what? We get the win. Probably the Saints play the best of all season that they play. They play against us. Why we can't take that and take the win and run with it?
I'm taking the win and running with it right now. I'm feeling it. Look, the fact of the matter is, you have won 3 in a row. The fact of the matter is, you won 4 of 5. The fact of the matter is, Mike McDaniel said going into that Atlanta game, they figured some things out. And the only reason they lost to Baltimore is because they had a short week and they couldn't implement everything. If that is true, there's a lot of hope for this Dolphins team. Are you hopeful, though? 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM, WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
This is Bobby from North Miami.
Go ahead,
Let
Bobby.
me say a couple of things.
Go ahead.
One, Mr. Coaches like Shula Ditka grabs the quarterback's helmet and says, "What the hell are you doing?" He could have thrown 3 interceptions to her. There's something wrong with him. There was a time that he overthrew Wilson. It was 20 yards of field in front of him, and he overthrew Wilson. And then he gets another shot at it. He's scared, and he slides 1 yard that we went to 4th down. We shouldn't have that position. He overthrew even the pass that he completed to Waddle that we went down for 15 or 20. Yeah. It was the Waddle adjustment. It was right behind, thrown behind him, and he turned around and caught it.
I noticed that.
He underthrew. There is something wrong with this quarterback, and as much as you want to hope that we get somewhere, you're as good as your quarterback. And I don't see them gain anywhere, but I don't expect them. I don't root for losing because everybody's saying draft pick. What have we done with 20 years with our number 1 draft pick? Nothing. I mean, we missed that boat so many times. We picked the wrong number 1 draft pick. So that's not it. You got to win. Win any games you can. But the problem with this and McDaniel's putting these plays out for him, knowing the only thing he has is Achane, and he's pitching to the right or pitching to the left on the 4th down. You give it to the guy, a rookie, and you slam to that line. Mm-hmm. You don't try zigzag and try to. You don't have Achane speed. If it was Achane, he might try to outrun him to the corner, and we'll get it if he sees it's closed. But he didn't have it. So you have the calling by the offense, by the coach, and you have the mistakes by Tua. That's the problem that we're having right now, coming back to it, Tua. And I don't see McDaniel going anywhere. I think the team has made a decision. It's going to stick with him until the following next year. So all the fans who want them fired, I don't think we're going to get that.
Yeah, Bobby, you're probably right about that, but you never know. I didn't think they were going to fire Chris Greer in the middle of the season, and they did. I think that's what frustrates Dolphins fans the most. Then, everybody's saying, just enjoy the win, and we do. We enjoy the win. I think what frustrates us more is that Tua has digressed, and Mike McDaniel, it seems like when the going gets tough, he tries to overthink things. The announcer, Mark Schlereth, who I think is fantastic, by the way, said, you know what you do if you're Mike McDaniel? You put in the huge package, is what they like to call it, and you just go mano-y-mano. And he got cutesy. He put in the rookie, even though he's your bigger back, I understand. And they have him doing a little curl around and trying to beat someone. It's just, stop overthinking things. And that's what's frustrating about this team, a team that you should have handled by 3 scores. You were in a dogfight with. And if it weren't for a Minka Fitzpatrick interception and the team having a rookie quarterback that doesn't know a lot about the game, you could have lost, but you won. So we're celebrating. 305-567-0560. Taking a break. Back with more right here on Game Day Uncensored Postgame 104.3 FM WQAM.
FM 104.3 or on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Wow, that was so easy.
All of our shows are there live or on demand. Plus, there's the cool rewind feature where you can listen to any part of any show you might have missed. Anytime.
Now, let's get back to the Game Day Uncensored postgame show on FM 104.3 WQAM, Miami's sports leader.
Dolphins win 21-17, albeit against the lowly Saints, who are now 2-10. Is this the beginning of something special for the Miami Dolphins, or a slide into mediocrity? Want to hear from you. 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Go ahead.
We're calling from Alligator Alley on the way back from the game. One main thing is, first off, again, we got to throw more to A-Chain. He didn't have a single catch today, which he's our best weapon. You got to get up the ball in space. And the more pressing thing is that you see him, the Gator doesn't trust Tua anymore. Like, you saw at the end of the first half, Tua just held the ball and he spiked it at the end. I mean, we could have tried push for a touchdown. It's clear McDaniel just doesn't trust Tua, and he doesn't think that Tua can really do anything anymore. So that's something that needs to be addressed. Either bring in a guy like Flacco in the offseason, give Tua competition, or, I mean, I hate to say it, but do the Russell Wilson and just get Tua out of here.
I understand that, and I almost forgot about that, where they didn't even try to run a play at the end of the first half. They didn't want to be aggressive. That's not Mike McDaniel's old style. That is a sign that maybe he and Tua aren't exactly confident or comfortable with each other. Yeah, oh man, that's an interesting thing. But yeah, Devon Achane had one target today, by the way, one target, although he was definitely getting the ball a lot. 22 carries, 134 yards, that 29-yard touchdown to open the game. Very happy with Devon Achane. He goes over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Richie. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, and I need your help.
Go ahead, Richie.
All right, so I am not a tank for draft picks kind of guy. I love this franchise, and I really don't like this team very much. In the beginning, I was, okay, let's see what we got. Let's evaluate our players. Let's, see who's coming back kind of a thing. And now I'm watching us barely beat really bad teams. And, you say a win's a win, but if it's meaningless and it doesn't mean anything, then what difference does the win make? It's not like, okay, we got to win and we crushed them and we beat them and we look good. We don't. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm watching for. And I love football. I love watching, and Achane's the man. But we all know what we got. We all know what's going to happen. And, I mean, what's the point? Help me here.
Richie, you don't see us winning out this season? Going to the playoffs?
Again, for what? to get to the end and go, wow, we really are bad, and they just crushed us in the end?
Richie, would that be the most Dolphins thing? Win out this season, get into the playoffs, and get crushed in the first playoff game like 38-7?
I like to say that they added the extra game and made it 17 so the Dolphins couldn't be 8-8 every year.
No more 500 for you.
I mean, what's the point?
I understand. A lot of Dolphins fans are echoing your sentiments.
Like, what am I watching? I know Achane's the man. I know Fitzpatrick's going to do what he does. I know that, Washington's a pretty good young talent. We really don't know yet. There's no longevity there. And what?
I know.
Our defense looked decent against a really bad team.
Yeah, they're really bad.
And what am I doing? I should go fishing. What am I doing?
Richie, we do this every single week, and people call up and say, why aren't you celebrating a win? It's a win. And I do say that, but for what? We're frustrated at some of the things that they did today in the win, the way they won, and what is it all going to amount to? What is the game plan here? My only thing is this, what I tell Grieper and I tell you every single week, it's 1 week at a time. We beat the New Orleans Saints. Now we worry about one thing and one thing only, the New York Jets. I'm not looking long forward. I'm not looking towards anything other than that. One game at a time. New Orleans Saints, now it's on to the Jets. 305-567-0560. I know I got a couple people calling. Ryan's calling right now. I'm going to get to your call. Dolphin, Dave, Carol, you know I got nothing but love for you. We're going to get to it just after this right here on Game Day Uncensored Postgame 104.3 FM WQAM.
Uncensored, Postgame edition. Real talk, real reaction, real opinions for real Miami football fans on FM 104.3 WQAM, Miami sports leader.
I think like most Dolphins fans, happy that we won because in the end, that's all that really matters is winning. And they did do that against the lowly Saints, 21-17. But I think like most Dolphins fans, I'm just frustrated with the way we won. My friend Carol texted me. So this is Carol from Lighthouse Point, and McDaniel is the dumbest coach ever. You may not be able to say that, but McDaniel is not a smart clock guy. I don't know if you saw it, Grouper, but at the end of the first half, they didn't even try to go for a touchdown. They just sat on the ball and spiked the ball and kicked the field goal. And it wasn't a chip shot either.
No, that was the other thing. I was wondering, why didn't you just go for more yardage to get a closer field goal at that point? Because it wasn't a chip shot field goal at that point. But, you know, that it really kind of confounds me a lot of times, the decisions that Mike McDaniel makes. Because what you think and what is textbook should be done, he does not do.
Ask you a hard question. In that situation, okay, I'm going to make it easy, then I'm going to make it even just as easy. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, do they do the exact same thing?
No.
Do 31 other quarterbacks in the league do anything different? All of them do. I've never seen a team do that. Just sit on the ball and spike it. If it's the end of the game, that's different.
Right.
At halftime, when you're up 16-0?
No, you pour it on. I'm sorry.
They had chances to kill this team today.
Or, like I said, what I thought they were going to do was I thought for sure they were going to get more yardage to at least get a closer field goal, because I didn't see them going for a touchdown. I thought at that time it was going to be, we're just going to get a closer field goal, get Riley Patterson to make a chip shot, and that'd be the end of it. But no, we left as a longer field goal. I didn't understand that. I mean, I guess he was concerned about a turnover, maybe.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. You throw something to the sidelines, get it quick out, get out of bounds, get some extra yards, maybe take a shot at the end zone, maybe do both. There was a lot of time left. That seems like a quarterback and a coach that don't trust each other very much.
Well, I think you're playing scared. And the way I'm kind of looking at that is that if you're that scared of your roster, what does that say?
I have no clue. 305-567-0560. Back to the phone lines. 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Fred calling from Phoenix.
Go ahead, Fred.
I just have a few points I just want to make. Random thoughts. One, this is just a bad organization, period, led by a bad owner. When you have a bad owner, you're never going to be successful. That's number one. Evidence of that. How many owners would have a general manager in place for 10 years with 0 playoff wins, and it took 10 years before they let go of this guy? Okay? That's on Ross. Tua is horrible. Greer gave him the big contract for no reason. He didn't do anything to deserve getting this money. It has hamstrung the organization, and this is how a bad organization operates. And listen, I've been a Dolphin fan since 1967. I grew up in South Florida, and this is just pathetic. And you know, I'm going to point to two teams: the Patriots and the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
What do both of those teams have in common? A, they both have great coaches. Great move by the Pats getting Vrabel. Of course, the Broncos have Sean Payton. They both drafted great quarterbacks, as it's turned out, May and Nix. And what do we have? McDaniel and Tua. Thank you, Chris Greer. I just don't see, as long as Ross is the owner, how this franchise will ever become successful. I just don't see it. Those are my thoughts for today.
I understand you bring up a great point, because they always say scared money don't make money. Dolphins seem like they're scared sometimes. No, don't fire Chris Greer. Oh, don't do this. Oh, don't go for the end zone at the end of the first half. Kneel the ball. Can't say that about the Patriots and the Broncos. Look, Patriots saw, we don't like what's going on. We have one of the second most winningest coach in history. Won more Super Bowls than anybody. He's a legacy. Guess what? You're fired. Guess what? We're going to rebuild this thing. We're going to blow it up and rebuild. Now they're 9-2, and a lot of people saying they have a great chance to make the Super Bowl. Broncos got lapped multiple times by the Dolphins in that 70-point game. And the Broncos, everybody said, oh, they made a bad deal with Russell Wilson. They got an over-the-hill coach in Sean Payton. They weren't scared to go out there. Well, we weren't scared to go out there and get Sean Payton either, but that kind of, they weren't scared to go out there and get Sean Payton. They weren't scared to trade for him. They weren't scared to say, you know what, Russell Wilson? We owe you a lot of money. Get the hell out of here. We're going to go with a rookie. So far, it's worked out pretty good for those teams. They're not scared. Fortune favors the bold. 305-567-0560, 1043 FM, WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Go ahead.
Me?
Yes, it's you.
Oh, sorry. My name's David, and I'm driving home from the Dolphins game.
All right, what's on your mind, David?
It was at the end of the first half. Like, what the hell was that play call?
I don't know.
Why didn't we just go ahead and try and get a deep bomb to Waddle or Washington down the sideline, get out, and then either get an easier kick, like a chip shot, or maybe get it to Waller or Dole kicks.
Yeah, you're right. That changes the complexion of the game. If you score a touchdown on that last play of the half, that's just a dagger for a team like the New Orleans Saints that are not going to be able to come back on you.
I don't know. Then it would have been 25-0. We would have been winning 25-0 at the end of the game. And that onside kick, they wouldn't have made such a lackluster call on fourth down. They would have had to make a big play because they're probably going to need to score a second touchdown they probably need to get the ball again and make a big play.
Yeah, I think we're all seeing it right there. It's the little things that upset us. They haven't killed us yet. It is the little things that kill, and they will catch up with you. And this is the thing. The Dolphins they have to play perfect the rest of the year pretty much to make the playoffs. So you see these missteps, but they keep winning. So you have to say, okay. 305-567-0560, 1043 FM, WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Dan, this is Ryan.
Hey, Ryan, glad to hear from you. I've been waiting for your call.
I got Carol and Dave from Beer Guts 26 Degrees Trivia Team. Hey, we were at the game today, and we got absolutely drenched tailgating. Then, here's our take on the game. Carol says the coaching, the moves, all the points that you've heard already, Coach Daniel's got to go. I say Tua, he's thrown in the coverage still. Even though they got the win, he's still making bad choices. Who dat? That's our take, Dan.
Ryan, well, thank you so much. Tell everybody I said hello out there and can't wait to see you guys 26 Degree Brewing soon. And, man, I'll tell you, that's the question now, Robert Griever, and I'm getting a lot of this. Who's to blame right here? 6'7", as they say, 6'7". Is it Tua or Mike McDaniel?
Well, that's the one thing I've always wondered is, it's kind of like back in the day when you see a quarterback audibling and you're kind of wondering who made the play call that was successful or unsuccessful out there. And of course, the team will never tell you if the coach made the call or if the quarterback made the call in that situation. But I'm looking at it as you have a quarterback with a rag arm right now. You have a coordinator / head coach who basically thinks he's smarter than everybody else. And I'm kind of at the point of, going back to the good old Dennis Green talk, you are what you thought they were. And I'm looking at this team. They are overmatched, overpaid,
underperforming.
They're underperforming.
Well, this is my thing that I'm trying to figure out. Is it that Mike McDaniel's not putting Tua in a good situation, not playing to his strengths? Is that why Tua doesn't look good? So that's Mike McDaniel. Or is Mike McDaniel sometimes calling some of these plays that make no sense at all? And I'm trying not to curse because he's limited with what Tua physically can do.
But here's the question. Is Tua physically limited by himself, or is he physically limited by the organization right now?
That I don't know.
Because that's where I'm kind of looking at it. Because remember, the one thing that everybody's been saying for years with Tua is we just got to keep him healthy. And if we keep him healthy, we're going to be successful, because whenever he is healthy, he's successful.
I was that way forever. I don't feel that way anymore.
But we took it to a whole nother direction there. If you look at it, we didn't just make him healthy. We also made him scared, is what we did at the same time, because we basically hamstrung him and told him, hey, you can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do this. And at that point, that took away Tua from being a quarterback that he was at the time. So we don't even know who this quarterback is, because it's not the Tua that we drafted, and it's not the Tua that was in Alabama. It's not the Tua that you even had in your first couple of years. This is a Tua who is out there playing managed football, and that is a totally different quarterback than what you thought you had.
Whew, I do not know. His arm strength looks absolutely terrible. His accuracy at times looks bad. And when he overthrows or he underthrows someone, first of all, by like 10 yards, that's him throwing to a spot. That's not to or that's someone going to the wrong spot. That's one of those things. But when Julian Hill is the worst example of it. Underthrows Julian Hill by 2-3 feet. That's on Tua. I'm sorry. That's on Tua. There's no excuses about that. And I want to hear from him, because he has to atone for his sins. 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM, WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Doug.
Hey, Doug, what's up?
This is my point. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. I've been saying that long ago, that Stephen Ross is a terrible owner. He is a terrible owner. But another point, they didn't. Chris Greer did mess up with the drafts. He didn't draft the right players. And then the third thing is, I don't think the Dolphins should keep bringing Tua back year after year up there. I just don't think Tua is going to ever be a good quarterback for the Dolphins to be a winning team to get into the playoff. I just don't think so. I think we need to wash our hands, just like we did with Tannehill when we gave Tannehill so much time. Washed our hands. It's time to wash our hands with Tua. If Dolphins come out there with him in 2026, I'm not watching their games, because we got to get rid of him. We got to start with a different quarterback, because you know what? It's hard to call plays for a guy like that. It's hard. If you're a coach and you calling plays, it's going to be hard calling plays for a guy like that. That's why McDaniel was going to struggle calling plays as long as Tua the quarterback. I'm telling you.
Doug, I wanted to tell you this. As you speak, I think about this. At the beginning of the season, there was a lot of people saying, trade Tua if we can get him, but there's no trade market for him. And I stood up as born and raised South 7th Ward, New Orleans. I said, I know a team that would love to trade for Tua Tagovailoa if he were available. I said, New Orleans Saints will take Tua in a heartbeat. I watched the game today where rookie Tyler Shuck possibly outplayed Tua. And now as a Saints fan, I'm like, no, I don't want Tua. No, thank you. No, thank you. As a Dolphins fan, I'm debating on whether I want Tua right now, because some of those throws today and what he did was just not great.
I don't see him ever being a good quarterback in the NFL. No, he had a couple of good years, and I don't think it was that speed. These teams had to get used to that speed type of offensive Dolphins. A lot of teams couldn't get used to that. When McDaniel came out with that all-speed lineup, teams couldn't get used to that stuff, and Tua was making himself look good, but it was really those speed players making that offense. That's
You're right
what it
there,
was.
Doug. The rest of the league has adjusted. Once again, one of the things we say about Tua and Mike McDaniel all the time, we've been waiting for this, they don't make adjustments. Mike McDaniel, his rookie year and his second year, I always made this excuse. He would have known as he gets older in his career to challenge that play against Green Bay on Christmas Day where the guy obviously didn't catch it. He's going to learn to have his personnel ready, like against the Buffalo Bills in the playoff game where they weren't ready and it cost him a 4th down and they turned the ball over. He still hasn't made these adjustments. And it looks like at halftime, the team comes out and has the exact same game plan, albeit they were up 16-0. But the Saints went out, Kellen Moore went out there and he made adjustments. Saints team looked much different in the second half. Tua, it seems like the first 2 years, really good. And since people have figured him out, there's been no adjustments for Mike McDaniel or Tua. Maybe there have been. I'm not seeing him very well. That's what I get scared about.
The only adjustments that they made is putting him back out there in bubble wrap, and that's really the only adjustments that they made. I mean, because if you look at it, Okay, he hasn't missed a game this year. Great. But he's not the same quarterback. You basically have tied his arm behind his back, his rag arm, and left him with the other rag arm. And that's what he's out there as. And any team that is going against him, any defensive coordinator knows we don't need to worry about a deep ball.
Or run.
Don't need to worry about it. So we don't need to play up in the box except for Achane. We don't need to put a scout or a spy on Tua because guess what? He ain't taking off. And if he does take off, he's going to be sliding 2 yards in. So you're not going to have to worry about that.
That premature slide today was bad enough. But then when he started doing the first down motion, I was like, I just don't think he got the first down. And then he didn't. And then, of course, the next play, we compounded that by handing the ball off to Ollie Gordon the second and not converting on a fourth down. That would have ended the game. But we won. Once again, we won. So we have to be like, hey, we're hot right now, albeit maybe not the hot we wished we would be. 21-17 against the New Orleans Saints. 5-7. 5-7. 305-567-0560. Going to hear from you next here on Game Day Uncensored Postgame 104.3 FM WQAM.
Now, let's get back to the Game Day Uncensored postgame show on FM 104.3 WQAM, Miami's sports leader.
In a game where I thought I could stop watching midway through the third quarter, I was wrong. I really thought the Dolphins were going to minimum beat the Saints 35-7, maybe even get into the 40s. It looked like they couldn't stop Devon Achane for anything. Tyler Shuck in the first half looked like, oh, shucks, he is bad. Saints came out in the second half, though, showed some life, made some adjustments, and made this thing way closer than it needed to be, 21-17. And it was even closer than that because Saints could have tied it on a 2-point conversion, but Tyler Shuck threw it to Minkah Fitzpatrick. He returned it for a 2-point conversion. Then there was an onside kick that the Saints recovered and started to make a mini drive, but then they remembered they were the New Orleans Saints, and they did not convert a fourth down. Dolphins win 21-17. It's a win. 305-567-0560. 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's short. Like I said, it's from me and Joe.
This is Broski.
Go ahead.
You hear me?
Yeah, man. Go ahead, Broski.
Yeah, well, Broski.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, listen, man. Hey, listen. You know, I listen to your show. You know, and it's kind of hard listening to it sometimes. You know, I know sometimes you gotta hand it to the audience and feel a certain way about certain things, but I've got a few things that I definitely want to ask you about. You know what's going on here because you know when I look at it, without Tyreek Hill, looks like Mike McDaniel is only one game behind Andy Reid. Also, one game behind John Harbaugh. We looked at Lamar Jackson, which is a great quarterback.
Right.
But we looked at him play against the Cincinnati Bengals and had a terrible game. You know what I'm saying? Nobody says anything about these things, right? But yet, Tua is one game behind Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Carolina Panthers, today, they just, you know, they was 12-point underdogs, and they just beat the Rams today. The New Orleans Saints actually beat Carolina Panthers earlier this season. Okay, so these guys get paid millions and millions of dollars on any given Sunday. These things happen. The worst thing I could do is just kind of listen to this fan base, man, because it's a lot of sourness. It's a lot of crybabies. It's a lot of whining when it comes to our fan base because we got a lot of bandwagoners too. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I watch football. And I really root for the team. Yeah, Tua's not, you know, on par for what we know him to be. But when you look at it, and this is a game of inches, and today's spread was New Orleans to lose by 5 points. If you bet on New Orleans and not lose by 5 points, you actually won. But obviously they had them scoring a certain amount of points or being close within this game. So, and also another point, New Orleans has not allowed a 100-yard receiver this whole entire year, 2025, going back to last season. The announcer made a point about that. They've got Chase Young and Cam Jordan right down that line. It was pressuring Tua all day. Yeah, he's not a perfect quarterback, but they're one game behind two of what we call Hall of Fame quarterbacks and Hall of Fame coaches. And yet we're here as a fan base ridiculing these people, telling these guys they need to be fired, this, and that. But these two teams that everybody is on their ball sacks about, our team that is so bad, so piss poor, so losing mentality of a fan base that wants to lose for draft picks are one game behind both Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs and Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson.
I'll give you any more.
We got a sorry team, though.
We're also in the hunt. We're right there with Buffalo. We've already beat Buffalo. The Steelers aren't much better record-wise. Ravens, right there, like you said. The Bengals, of course, they haven't had Joe Burrow for a while. Our record is better than them. You can start looking around the league and saying the Texans are bright. We're right in that same stratosphere with those teams record-wise. So I do understand that, we do like to pile on sometimes. We do not always understand that there is parity in this league, especially in United States sports. We do have a lot of parity, and this league is made for that. And that's why we see teams that are so up and down. The Chargers, the Chiefs, who would have known that they would have been like that? You can even go over to the NFC, the Cowboys. They may be playing well now. Their record isn't much better than ours. So, yeah, the Lions are 7-5. We're 5-7. We're kind of near them also. So as much as it's been doom and gloom, you're right, broski. Sometimes we need to step out of that doom and gloom and look at the big picture, is that this team is on a 3-game winning streak. They've won 4 of the last 5. And although it has not been impressive, at least in our minds, week to week, there's a lot of teams that don't look impressive. Like Lamar Jackson did not look impressive against the Bengals and some of these other teams, even the Kansas City Chiefs on Thanksgiving Day. So, yeah, when you put it in the big picture, this team is 5-7. And they're in the hunt. And what else can you ask for your team other than to try to win as much as they can and to do the best they can? And this team is starting to turn things around. It just might not be the way you like it. We get caught up in that sometimes.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming with that, because at the end of the day, man, I watch football. I bet on football, and these guys get paid money. They get paid money. They got pride out there. And, the way that these guys talk about the Saints, like, they got some real good players out there. The spread was 5 points.
That's true.
They lost by 4 points today, man. Like, come on. Like, what kind of fan base do we have? I'm telling you, I've seen so many people leave the Dolphins and become Cowboy fans.
Oh, I hate that.
Become Pittsburgh fans, become Packer fans. And, like, it's not a good energy source that you have with a fan base that leaves the stadium, and they're crying, they're crabbing, they're crying. What I'm listening to come on your show right now, it's sad. I got my girl sitting next to me, and she's listening to this. She's like, why are they complaining like this? Why are they tripping? We just won a game. And we're needing to win these games just to get over the hump. We don't have Tyreek Hill. We don't have some of the things that we were supposed to have to even be what some would call an 8-9 team or a 9-8 team. So if anything, we're supposed to be losing more than what we've lost so far. But we're on a winning streak. And now we got the Jets coming up to continue a winning streak. And guess what? If we win against the Jets, and I don't know how this game is going to go up against the Pittsburgh Steelers and Buffalo Bills, but if the Pittsburgh Steelers lose, guess what? That Monday night game is that one game away from us taking over the Steelers and being right back into this thing. You got to look at this ever since Mike McDaniel been here. Ever since he's been here, the first 2 seasons we went to the playoffs, they were winning season. Then when we were losing last year, guess what? We had the same exact record at this point. The only thing is we didn't get over the hump last year because of a few plays. But I'm telling you, man, this team has already proven that they can do this. They go on winning streaks. Last year they went on this winning streak to almost make the playoffs. I really believe, man, if a couple things go down, you're gonna see that I called it. It's delusional confidence. I feel like they're gonna go 10-7. But it's going to be ugly. But you got to win ugly games. Because if this was a Super Bowl game and they won like this, well, people be crying afterwards because we won the way that we won.
That's another thing a lot of people will say about this Dolphins team. If they find they're basically in playoff mode, the teams that are in playoff mode before the playoffs even start are the teams that are good in the playoffs because they've won ugly. They've gone through the stresses. They've come through everything. They've done all that. And then you look at the grand scheme of things, although you're not always happy with the way you got to the result, you do have to feel somewhat good about that. And the Dolphins have been doing that lately, and they are bringing a winning mentality. And I think every Dolphins fan needs to note this. This is a team that could have easily, after Tyreek Hill went down, after the bad start, after all this stuff, could have quit. Could have started playing for their next team or their next contract in their head, but they didn't. They continue to fight. They continue to go out there with a lot of pride, and that, as a Dolphins fan, should make you very happy and prideful. 305-567-0560. Back to the phone lines. 104.3 FM, WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Dan Day? It's Alejandro from Hollywood.
Good to hear from you again, Alejandro.
Yeah, I was at the game like always, man, and yeah, the good news is we won. Tua looked terrible, man. He couldn't hit water. He fell off a boat. I'm telling you right now.
It got worse when it got rainy. I will admit that.
It got worse. at the same time, you were asking yourself the question: Is it Mike McDaniel's fault? Is it Tua's fault? And I'm going to say it's both of their fault.
Okay.
At times, Mike McDaniel's, of course, calls these boneheaded plays, but then when he does call the right play, Tua doesn't execute. So you got to blame both of them. You know, and I don't know what Mike McDaniel's thinking, but when you're running the ball and you're pounding the rock and you're gaining yardage, you don't all of a sudden get into the red zone and start passing the ball, especially with the way that Tua was playing. You continue to pound the rock until they prove that they're able to stop you, and that's the bottom line. Also, I do want to give credit to the defense because when it counted, they made the stop they needed to make, and they played relatively well. But, you know, the Dolphins are spinning the wheels. They're not going anywhere. We're going to wind up with 7 or 8 wins, like always. And, you know, when you're the architect of a football team and you're building a football team, you got to start with the trenches, man. And they got to build up the trenches. And until they're not able to dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides, they're not going to go anywhere, you know. And going forward, I hope they really concentrate on that. Whether people like it or not, Tua's going to be around for a while. If they get rid of him, it's a $99 million cap hit, and that's something that's really hard to afford. So I think that going forward, yeah, whether we like it or not, Tua's going to be there. So we need to rally around Tua, try to see if we can get Tua to improve his play, because obviously he's just not even close to what he was before. He's playing scared. It's obvious. I'm there at the game. I'm watching it. When you scramble and you're scrambling for the first down, you got to slide at the marker, not slide two yards before the marker. That doesn't work. So at the same time, they got to let him loose a little bit. And if he gets injured, he gets injured. But sometimes you got to take the risk. If he continues to play scared like that, the offense is not going to proceed. We're not going to go anywhere. And that's just the bottom line. So let's see what happens. We got to try to continue to win, because I don't believe in tanking. I don't believe in losing. At the same time, you know, they got to build it up. When it comes time to draft, they got to focus on the trenches, focus on the offensive line, focus on the defensive line, and then we go from there.
Alejandro, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, you notice how much of a difference the trenches make. Look, the Saints, their strength is that defense, and made a big difference with a guy like Cameron Jordan, who is, to me, one of the greatest all-time defensive linemen in the history of the NFL, and Chase, I want to call him Chase Edwards. Chase Young. I had a brain fart right there. Chase Young was in the backfield all day long. Those guys made a huge difference, and we played right into the strength of them when we drove down the field, Achane every single play, and then started passing. And I just wonder what Mike McDaniel was thinking. They got the win, though, and the trenches, they are very important, and the Miami Dolphins are trying to strengthen like most people are. I thought Zeke Biggers made a big couple plays today, getting us some strength. Kenneth Grant getting better. I thought Patrick Paul, we saw he's had a great season, did not have the best day today, but Chase Young kind of has something to do with that. 305-567-0560. One more phone call before we go to break. 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Howdy there. You talking to me, friend?
Yes, my friend.
How we doing? I'm just reaching out to tell you it's been 25 years since I've actually gotten to enjoy football. I am hoping that we can figure out Tua's contract and or getting rid of it. I don't see anything positive coming from it. I mean, he just literally got outthrown by a rookie, probably almost double the yards and double the touchdowns. And I just think this entire team is a total joke and needs to figure out a rebuild as soon as possible. Going from that, though, I do think Mike McDaniels does have potential as a offensive coordinator, but not so much as an overall coach.
Okay, well, I'll just tell you, Tua went 12 for 23, 157 yards, 1 interception, and 1 that was almost intercepted. It might have been intercepted, but they couldn't overturn it. Tyler Shuck was 26 for 38, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
I understand that entirely, but how is that happening when it's a rookie quarterback with an offense of line that is completely non-existent, in addition to the fact that they do not have any players to throw to whatsoever?
Oh, they got Chris Olave, he's a little hurt too. But yeah, I understand. No, I understand what you're saying. If you tell me this, Tua makes over $50 million, and there's even a question of who was the better quarterback today between Tyler Shuck and Tua, I tell you, no $50 million quarterback should ever have that question asked in that situation.
I agree entirely. I can only hope for the best of this team. I am desperate coming from a diehard South Floridian. I can only be happy for my Florida Panthers at this point. But otherwise, as well as my Miami Heat, I can only enjoy the other sports teams in the South Florida area. But I don't know what to be promised about for the Dolphins. It just seems like every single year is a possibility of potential and a total flop.
I understand. I feel your pain as a lifelong South Floridian. I can understand where you're coming from. If you're born and raised here, and if you've been here, it seems like and then all year long we talked about I'd rather the Dolphins be really, really good or really, really bad. The one thing a lot of Dolphins fans didn't want is a team that was 5-7 at this point in the season and trending, and I'm just saying trending, possibly towards another 8-9 season. That is some Dolphins fans' nightmare. We shall see, though. All I can tell you right now, 3-game winning streak for the last 5. Maybe this team's figured some things out. Going to figure some more things out with you. Hold tight. We'll talk to you next here on Game Day Uncensored Postgame, 104.3 FM, WQAM.
Now, let's get back to the Game Day Uncensored postgame show on FM 104.3 WQAM, Miami's sports leader.
Dolphins just keep winning. They defeat the New Orleans Saints today, 21-19, and improve their record to 5-7. Closer than that, though. 305-567-0560. Let's go out to my dude, Duty, out in Atlanta. Duty, where you at?
Day, my guy. Where you at?
We probably shouldn't do that on Saints game, but we won, so it's okay, man. I'm good. I'm happy with the Dolphins win. I think it's one of those things, man. Just keep stacking W's, and crazier things have happened.
Are you happy about the Saints continuing to escalate their standings in the draft position?
Not so much. I'm not one of those guys that really does that, and that's not the way that at least my family and my friends have been always growing up, because they're upset that we lost. But I'm here in South Florida, and I think the Miami Dolphins might be onto something, Duty. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Are you like more of a Dolphins fan than a Saints fan now?
Man, I don't know. I'm not, my fandom.
I mean, today it should have been clear, right?
Should have been clear, man.
So you couldn't really pick it. All right. Well, either way, another basura game. And again, it just doesn't look right. Like everybody's been saying, he's basically like, if he doesn't get his first read, it's like a live reenactment of Control Alt Delete. It's like he's like a GPS with no reroute function. Like there's something wrong. Maybe he's just not that smart or not that creative. But again, like McDaniel's play calling, like it's so suspect. Like I don't understand. Like you were saying, A-10. And then when we get to a spot where it's like a third or fourth and short or a goal to go, he switches it up and goes to places that just don't work. Like it just doesn't make much sense. I mean, it seems like it's like he's on a cooking show and trying out the secret ingredient is creativity and panics and can't do anything.
It seems like he does overthink a lot of things. And I think Tua, it's a little bit of I think he might be dealing with an injury. Like remember he had that thumb issue earlier. I think he also probably can't generate as much torque on his throws because of the hip injury. I think it's kind of getting worn down. I think he's got when I say a brain issue, meaning that he's a little stuck in his own head. And I also think
brain injury issue or like just non-working brain.
He's just kind of stuck in his head. And also I think it's one of the things that the NFL is doing now, including Mike McDaniel, the analytics tell you just have the quarterback manage the game and just don't lose the game. So I think Mike McDaniel's kind of going out there and being like, look, just don't lose the game. If that means throwing it short, if that means just the same little flare passes, if that means not taking a deep risk, do that. We just don't want you to lose the game. And I think it's all that combined. And this Tua's just not been good this year. I'm sorry. I don't know anybody that's really caped up and said Tua's having an all-pro year.
No, and there's been little to no evidence of that, obviously. But I think Leroy's actually said this a few times where he's saying, Mike McDaniel is basically like making adjustments before he actually needs to. Like, he's like trying to overthink it. Like he's trying to play 4D chess when checkers is right there for you.
Right. I think that's a key. As I say, keep it simple, stupid. Like, what are you doing? Devon Achane's killing it. Give him the ball. Same thing on the fourth down. I understand Ollie Gordon II is your big, strong, bruising back, but Devon Achane's your best back that seems to get at least 3-4 yards every carry. And
even when he's getting hit in the backfield, he's still doing it. Like, and it makes no sense because he's so tiny. You'd think he'd just collapse like origami, but like he can still manage to escape some tackles because he's just that shifty.
Yeah, and the other thing is like, why are you and I'm not a fan of the 4th and 1, 4th and inches, where you do anything but just try to pound it straight ahead. The stuff going around the side, the loop around, the pitching it back 5 yards. I don't believe in that. It seems like when those things happen, Mike McDaniel overthinks things. He tries to be too smart.
Getting a little too cutesy.
Yeah, I'm with you right there, Duty. I'm with you there. Are you happy about the win, though, being a lifelong Dolphins fan and used to be a season ticket holder?
Yeah, man, I'm still pumped. Like, I'm still rooting for him. I'm still cheering every time I see him score a touchdown. Like, I'm not, and again, like, what's the point of tanking? Like, we're just going to get a few more spots up in the draft, probably not make a great pick anyway. Like, I don't know who's going to even be making the picks. Like, best player on the team. Not really much of a point in losing. Give me something to, be excited about.
Dude, your best player on the team is a 3rd-round pick, so just keep that in mind.
Exactly. And then we traded up to get a 1st-round pick in Jalen Waddle, who doesn't seem to be worth what he's been getting paid. So,
I understand. Another thing about Tua is maybe I'm not, or maybe he's more subtle about it. I don't see him making a lot of audibles at the line. You know, you have the other quarterbacks that are tapping their head and shouting out things. Tua just kind of goes up there and snaps the ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Is he even allowed to make audibles? And if he is, does he even know how to do that properly? Like,
that's a good
can you
question.
trust him with that ability?
Maybe some of our good friends like Omar Kelly and Chris Perkins and or Dave Hyde in the press conference can be like,
please ask those questions first, Omar. Please ask those questions.
Is Tua allowed to even audible? Because he doesn't seem to be doing it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Marino back in the day, he was basically like, screw whatever this coach just called. Like, I'm calling my own play right now. And he'd do that all the time, and it would work a lot of the time.
I have a sneaking suspicion.
I know, Tua's no Marino, of course.
Right, of course. I had a sneaking suspicion that when Peyton Manning was quarterback and he was in his height, they basically just said run or pass, and he just did whatever he wanted to do. I mean, I hate to be like that, but they probably did. Adam Gase probably said, this play's a run play. All right, got it.
Yeah, and then that was go or go. You remember that?
Yeah.
we would always know whether it was a run or a pass, whether Tannehill would say go or go. And then we would know. It's obvious every time. And I'm afraid that we're kind of stuck in a little bit of Tannehill 2.0 here.
It seems like there's no excuse of, he's still young, he's still learning. This guy, it's been a program that was set up for him, specifically for him, and he's been in it for at least his 4th year now. So, yeah, there's really no excuse. We might be in that holding pattern now with Tannehill. But, Duty, good to hear from you. Wish you and the family a happy holidays. Thanksgiving with everything.
Yes, sir, man. See you in a few weeks, buddy.
Later, brother. Can't wait. 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
This is Paul, and I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, Paul, what's going on?
Okay. One is I have season tickets, but I didn't keep them all this year. I went to the first 3 games. So having said that, I'm back in Texas where it's cold. Anyhow, I understand human error, and I understand humans are referees, and I understand the fastness of the game. You make mistakes on a call. It's when action. What I don't understand is when you have razor sharp technology in video and computers, and you still make that call they made on the onside kick. It was clear as can be that ball never touched anything until the New Orleans Saints player grabbed it.
Okay, see, I was watching it from a distance with no sound, so I really can't, say anything about that. But the Saints guy was definitely short of the 10 yards that you need to allow the ball to go. I didn't see it hit anybody, but if you're saying it was clear, then I don't know what the hell is going on with these referees.
You could see, and they showed the replay a number of angles, but the last one they showed, the ball went behind one of the Dolphins players and in front of another one, and his hand was there, and you could see the light between his fingers and the ball. You could see it. I mean, it was clear. Okay. Having said all that, I didn't understand that call. So in this 2025, when they're using laser technology to tell you a first down or whatever,
right,
that made no sense. Okay, my second thing is, what is wrong with McDaniels? Last game, 104 seconds left on the 3-yard line, and you don't kick a field goal. Yeah, we got lucky and we won the game because of the interception, what have you. But that's ridiculous. And then we do it again this week where he's got 4th and inches and Achane's averaging like 5 to 8 yards a carry. What is wrong with him? Never mind Tua and the crap he's been doing. Just the ignorance in the play call.
Achane averaged 6.1 yards a carry today. Don't you think you can get a couple inches, Coach?
Absolutely. And then the last thing is just has nothing to do with anything anybody said. Isn't it kind of humorous, though, that since we traded Phillips, Eagles have gone to hell and the Dolphins have won 3 in a row?
I was thinking all along it was Jalen Phillips, that son of a gun.
That's all I got.
It's funny you say that because I was thinking that. I was like, man, isn't it funny that Jalen Phillips is left and we're winning? He's with the Eagles now and they're playing poorly. I was like, maybe it's Jalen Phillips all along. Who would have known? I didn't know. Okay. But now that is kind of funny and interesting. And I did actually think about that the other day. Mike McDaniel's play calling has been somewhat suspect, although I think overall he's having a pretty good year with his game plan and play calling. Tua, I will have to say, has not had his best year. In fact, Robert, could we argue this has been his worst year, at least eye test wise?
I would say it's his worst, but just because the consistency is there, meaning consistency at being inconsistent.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where the problem is that, like I said earlier, I believe he's playing scared out there. He just is. And not only that, he doesn't have the physical tools that he had in the past as well. Because that's a rag arm now. I'm sorry.
I mean, anything that goes deep, it looks like it's up for grabs. And you saw Kool-Aid and McKinstry go ahead and take that.
I mean, I'm looking at, just even talking about Mike McDaniel's comments a couple weeks ago. Well, that's a deep punt there. No, that is a very inconsistent, poorly thrown ball is what it is. And unfortunately, when you have a quarterback out there with a rag arm, you're told to play in bubble wrap, and you're not running the ball at all. So that causes the defenses to play you differently. And it's really, really suspect out there. It really is.
Let him free, Mike McDaniel. Let him free. I mean, really, Tua should play pretty free. Who's going to come take your job? Quinn Ewers? Zach Wilson? They're not taking you out, Tua. Go ahead.
The fans would love to see Quinn Ewers out there, though.
I did not love what I saw from Quinn Ewers in the preseason and in this season especially. Whew.
By the way, that whole Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning thing, I think that's kind of going by the wayside now.
Oh, man. 305-567-0560. Going to hear from you next. Hold tight. This is Game Day Uncensored on 104.3 FM, WQAM.
Odyssey Sports Station.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
The game is ended, and now we begin. It's Game Day Uncensored, post-game edition. Real talk, real reaction, real opinions for real Miami football fans on FM 104.3 WQAM, Miami sports leader.
The Buffalo Bills are losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers 7-3 up in Pittsburgh at halftime. Now, if this holds, that means this week the Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, and the Baltimore Ravens would have all lost. And at the beginning of the season, I told you there's a real possibility that those three teams don't make the playoffs. All three, not one of the three, all three don't make the playoffs. You would say, you're crazy, man. I like you, but you're crazy. Now, let me make it even crazier. What if I told you at the beginning of the season, there's a likelihood that the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, and the Baltimore Ravens all don't make the playoffs, but the Miami Dolphins do. Week 13, there is a possibility. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. A possibility that all that happens. Call me crazy. 305-567-056. You really can call me crazy because you can call in right now. 305-567-056. You back to the phone lines. 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Robert from Weston.
Let's go, Robert.
Dan Day, like about 5 callers ago, some guy called saying that we're crybabies and we're doing this and we're doing that. Listen, it comes down to you guys are comparing Tua to Lamar Jackson because we have almost the same record or more or less, or the Kansas City Chiefs. They got a quarterback. Tua is not an athlete. Forget about being a quarterback. He's not an athlete. Dan Marino couldn't run, but he had a gun. Tua has nothing. Nothing. He's not an athlete, bro. I'm 56 years old. I'll guarantee you, you throw a basketball and we play one-on-one basketball, I'll whoop his ass. He's terrible. That's the problem.
This is the thing, too.
About, oh, no, hold up. You got to make him comfortable. Even if he's comfortable, he sucks. He's not an athlete. This is crazy, man.
His passes have been bad, especially deep passes. Now, when you do try to compare, and you shouldn't, try to compare Tua and Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson because their records are similar this year. Also, Patrick Mahomes can come back with MVPs and Super Bowls,
of course,
and Lamar Jackson come back with
MVPs. He's an athlete.
But record-wise,
looks like a baby, like a 6-month-old in diapers, and you're running around tapping him, run. He sucks. He sucks.
He does look like he's running in slow motion. Agree with that guy. He looks like he's running in slow motion when he's out there. I'm not gonna lie. He just hung up. He's fired up. Robert's fired up. Hey, he's fired up. Hey, that's okay. Look, Dolphins fans have suffered for a very long time. I understand. It's not easy. So when the Dolphins win and people are still frustrated because the coach makes what looks to be kind of boneheaded calls at certain points in the game, their quarterback throws it to the other team and throws some dish rag arm passes. I get it. I get the argument. 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM, WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Ralph, and I'm calling from North Carolina.
Ralph, represent. What's up?
Well, basically, I love Miami. I basically lived in Miami, so I watch my Miami team lose every year. To be honest with you, and I totally understand where the Dolphin fans are coming from. Technically, none of them want to admit it. They got spoiled the last 2 years with McDaniels, where they had something to watch for. I even had a friend that lives in Miami. He's a Cowboy fan. He used to make fun of us Dolphin fans in a way, saying we're not used to winning to the point where just because we're winning, we're basically acting weird. Yes, a lot of the fans are crybaby. Yes, I understand Tua is not really, because right now, like you all mentioned, I've been saying that all year, Tua is playing scared. He's not playing. You could tell that he's not playing the same level. There is a way where Tua used to basically move up the pocket. You don't see that anymore. You technically see when he's basically being pressured, he's actually looking like a chicken that got his head cut off sometimes. That's how Tua playing right now. But I am not against the win. A win is a win, but the Dolphin fan need to understand. We're winning. I don't understand. The question I would want you to ask every Dolphin fan that cries about draft picks, ask him, Would they want to? Do they want to be the bottom of the bottom of the league, and everybody's looking at, oh, we're 30, the 32nd team of the league and everything? No, we don't need to be that. We're doing everything in a way not to look like the bottom feeders of the league. You got the Saints, there's a bottom feeder of the league. You got the Jets, bottom feeder, and now you got the Titans. We don't need to be put in that category just for draft pick. We just need to win the game and see what the playoff is going to bring to us. Because right now, if people don't really look at it, the AFC and the NFC, it's just a domino effect. One team lose, the whole thing's going to start tumbling apart around them. That's all I have to say, to be honest with you. I love my team. I love my Dolphins, but I just want to see the Dolphins fans stop crying about a win. Let's just enjoy a win because the numbers are mounting up when it comes to the team. Yes, we're not as superior as other teams. We're not superior in quarterback style-wise, of course, because Tua was hurt. Tua basically had his head basically thrown out of his body so many times, to be honest with you. I understand where everybody's coming from, but a win is a win. We just got to start learning to accept a win is a win, because right now we see the Eagles, they are winning ugly. And I just don't understand why people ain't saying nothing about that. And he's right. It's like we're looking at every team that has a superstar quarterback, they're struggling themselves. So what is the matter with that, to be honest with you, us with Tua? But Ralph, that's all I have to say.
I'm with you right there. A win is a win is a win. And you can't compare quarterbacks, although we'd like to do that. They're never on the field at the same time. So if you're sitting there, Tua sucks. Why does Tua suck? Well, you go watch Joe Burrow out there and he comes back after one game and they look like world beaters. Well, that's not the comparison. I can't say Tua has not been his best year, and I'm not comparing him to anybody. He hasn't thrown a lot of great passes, but we do have to celebrate these wins. And right now we stand, if the league where games were to end today, the season we're in today, the Dolphins would pick 12th overall. And once again, it ain't where you pick, it's who you pick. Your best player on the team and one of the best running backs in the league who has over 1,000 yards, third round pick. So don't go around there putting all your draft stock into all these picks, because I can tell you guys who have been number 1, 2, 3, 4 in the league being drafted have been bust. There's one on the team right now, to be honest with you. He's number 0 in his jersey. The Jets thought they had something with the second pick. Well, they didn't. So you can't always just say, we need the number 1 pick, especially in a year this year where you don't really have one of these guys that's just a world beater. And it's too late to even start saying like, oh, this win just hurt our draft stock. It's done now. We're 5-7. We're going to win more games. We might lose some more games. I don't know. History would say we do, but we'll see. 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM, WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joe from Sunrise.
Go on, Joe.
Listen, there was a play in the first quarter. It was 2nd and 8. Tua had the chance to run for at least 15 yards and get a first down. Instead, he threw into triple coverage. He could have slid down after at least a first down. It was totally obvious we cannot win with a guy who can't run when the opportunity strikes. That's just a deal. It's just a deal.
Yeah, a lot of the announcers have said that. Former players have said this. It's a defensive coordinator's dream to have a quarterback that doesn't have a strong arm and that is no threat to run. You become very, very, very one-dimensional. Hence why I think you hear the name A-Chan a lot in a game.
Adjust accordingly. And, this guy is no good. We made a mistake. I know it's $50 million next year. Cut your losses. Let's try some other people. This type of quarterback does not win in today's NFL.
The Denver Broncos cut ties, and look where they're at now. Seems to have worked out for them. At the other thing, I would just like to see Tua play a little bit better. I do understand that. This game should not have been as close as it was today. Miami Dolphins winning 21-17, and it taking basically everything in your power to win that game against the Saints team that is not very good. Trust me, I've watched them a lot this year, but you did win, and you're one of the hotter teams in the league. And this AFC and NFC, for lack of a better term, it's a wacky, wacky, wide world of sports out there where no one seems to really, really, really be separating themselves as the dominant team in the league. And I know if you're a Patriots fan, you want to say it's the Patriots, and they are 10-2, but at the same time, they're new to the game. The Broncos are 9-2, but once again, when I say new to the game, new to being successful, because for the past couple of years, they've been dormant. The Eagles are having their problems. I guarantee Thanksgiving night or Friday night after that loss to the Bears, Philadelphia Eagles fans were given the business. Packers, 1 week, they look like they're great. The Lions this year have even been around. No one has really separated themselves from the pack. If there is a team that's done it, it's the Patriots with their first-year coach, Mike Vrabel, who's very good. But once again, still in the hunt. 305-567-0560. Going to go back. Here we go. 104.3 FM, WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What? Hey, this is Alex in Miami. How you doing?
Alex, I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm not doing well. I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about this season. Everything's a mess. A win is a win, but we should have wiped the floor with these guys. We got to play the Jets next week, and they won today. And my 11-year-old daughter has a question. What's our record going to be next week if we win?
6-7.
Yeah, 6-7,
6-7. That's kind of how this Dolphins team has been this year. 6-7. And Robert Grieber, do you know what 6-7 means?
I just know I get a 67-cent Wendy's Frosty right now.
6-7 doesn't really mean anything, or nobody really knows what it means. And that's kind of, I don't know about this team. I don't know if they're 6 or they're 7, but they will be 6-7 if they win next week. And once again, we'll have me doing 6-7. I don't know. Is this team good? Is this team bad? I don't know. It's kind of 6-7. 305-567-0560. Did I just say 6-7 again? 104.3 FM, WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up, Gameday? Richie from Boar's Head.
Good to hear from you, Richie. What's going on?
So, let me tell you something, man. I'm coming home from the game. As you know, I worked for the Dolphins 20 years. Loved my team. Loved the Dolphins. And I got to hear this crap, man. Like Mandage would say, cow manure out of these fans' mouths, man. A win is a win, man. Do you see teams like Baltimore and all these other teams falling like dominoes? And we could be in the run for a playoff spot, and you guys are still calling in and crying the same stuff every week about Tua. We already know he's not our franchise quarterback, you idiots, but you're going to call every week and cry. If you guys don't want to be Dolphin fans, bro, don't come to the games. Go be a Jet fan. Go be a Buffalo fan, bro. Stop the nonsense, you losers, bro. Stand behind your team. If we win out, we can make the playoff, you losers. I'm sick of it, damn, bro. These people nothing makes them happy, bro. Nothing. The man slides so he don't get his head taken off, and they got to cry about that.
I'm telling you, man, it's one of those things. I don't think Dolphins fans are upset at the win. I think they like the win. I think they're just pointing out things that they see at these games. But fact of the matter is, this Dolphins team wins out. They're 10-7, and they're the hottest team in the league. And this has been an upside down, inside out league so far this year. So enjoy it one game at a time. Like I said, we beat the New Orleans Saints today. Let's get ready for next week. The rivalry against the New York Jets. We'll take that game one at a time. We'll take your calls one at a time next. Just hold tight. 305-567-0560. This is Game Day Uncensored. Robert Grieper, Dan Day. Postgame on 104.3 FM, WQAM.
WQAM. Now, let's get back to the Game Day Uncensored postgame show on FM 104.3 WQAM, Miami's sports leader.
Dolphins always make it exciting no matter who they're up against. Today it's the New Orleans Saints, who are now 2-10. The Dolphins are now 5-7, 21-17. Sometimes it looks like neither team really wants to win the game, but despite everything that's going on, the Miami Dolphins are on that 3-game win streak, winners of 4 of the last 5, and they keep themselves in the hunt. 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Mike from Fort Lauderdale.
Go ahead, Mike.
All right. So I'm listening to all the fans call in about Tua. Personally, my problem is more with the coach and his boneheaded play calling, too smart for his own good.
I hear you.
Okay. So I read an interesting stat in 2003 when Tua led the league in passing.
23?
23.
Okay, yeah.
He led the league with led all quarterback with 20-yard passes for 20 yards or more downfield.
That's true.
Guess who led the league with passes for 5 yards or less that same year?
Was it Josh Allen?
Patrick Mahomes, who won the Super Bowl that year. Right?
Okay.
So at the same time, since that time, I think it's been either Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, who has led the league in rushing for quarterbacks with their legs and their strong arms. What do they have between them? About 10 Super Bowls?
No, they have 0.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more about it's an entire team concept, dude.
I understand.
Has very little to do with one player, especially at this stage of the game. We have a coach, and I'm telling you, listen, he may be an outstanding play caller when he has all the guts, but he can't even recognize that his quarterback is at his best when he's a play action quarterback. When he gets to play, when he does a play action thing. Tua's not. He can't carry a team. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. He should be able to recognize that his best player is Devon Achane. So maybe let's get a little more play action.
Absolutely.
Let's get the play action going a little bit more, man.
And what do all great coaches do?
Adjust.
When critical times in the game, they put the ball in their best player's hand.
Yeah, you're right.
So why do we have a rookie running back, an indecisive rookie running back, running the ball on 4th and 1 when they have a chance to ice the game?
I thought that was an unfair
thing.
I thought that was unfair to OG too, by the way.
Absolutely.
I thought we put him in a bad situation when we should have had Devon Achane in there, who's averaging over 6 yards a carry, by the way.
Man, listen, I mean, it's so just too smart for his own good, dude.
Yeah.
He's the bigger problem on this team.
Okay, I understand where you come from. Thank you for letting us know that. Yeah, there are some question marks definitely around some of the stuff Mike McDaniel does. And the thing is, they're very egregious, as I would say, Creeper. It's not like, well, you're like, no. And you looked on the 4th down, I was like, well, why is Devon Achane not in the game? We know OG3, he's not as decisive in the hole, and it hasn't worked in the past. I know he's your big bruising back. Let's try to mix it up. Devon Achane.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, his coaching decisions, his 4th down decisions, his replay decisions. I mean, I don't know what this guy is thinking. I really don't. I mean, we're going from a coach who was a player's coach when he first got here. Now he's like, all that about being a player's coach. I'm going to institute some accountability now.
Yeah, leadership council.
They already know they can walk over you. Guess what? They're going to continue to walk over you. And that's the thing is this guy is Mr. Buddy, and that's why everybody likes him. But I'm sorry. I don't want to go to the point of Flores, but this team needs, kind of like to pardon a phrase from the original Batman movie, this team needs an enema because seriously, this whole thing is they need a whole cleanse is where they're at because they need some leadership here. They have some leaders on this roster, but look at last year. You lost Armstead. You lost Calais. Those are your 2 big leaders in the locker room. Now you have Jordan Brooks kind of stepping up and everything, but the problem is that your number 1 leader should be your quarterback. He ain't your quarterback. And you're kind of stuck in a situation where you need a roster overhaul, you need a coaching overhaul, you need a front office overhaul, And that's all not going to happen in the middle of a season, unfortunately.
And with all that being said, we're 4 out of the last 5. We've won 3 in a row. And ever since Chris Greer has been let go and Jalen Phillips has been traded, this team has won. So just keep riding. 305-567-0560. 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, my name is Eddie. I'm calling from Nashville.
Hey, Eddie. Glad to hear from you. What's up?
I just want to focus on the Dolphins of what's right. Let's not focus on what's wrong. Let's focus on what's right. We're in December. We're getting momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything is X's and O's. Not everything is stats. Not everything is body size. Sometimes it's the things you can't see. This team got grit. This team got heart. We're winning games ugly, but we're winning. We're kicking. We're crawling. We're scratching, but we're winning. And that's what we need to focus on is December. We're building momentum. Let's have an ugly game. Let Tua have a bad game today because we won. With Tua having a terrible game, let him have that terrible game today. Because when it matters, that's when we need that top-notch game. And that's what I want to focus on. I want to focus on what's right. We see what Tua can do. And it started in the Buffalo game when he played really well. The announcer said, hey, you can't let Tua just sit back there and throw the ball. You got to put pressure in his face. You got to throw the timing off. And ever since that announcer said that, everybody's in his face. So we just got to burn the blitz. Find a way to burn the blitz, and let's move on.
I'm all for the positivity, especially during the holiday season. And this Dolphins team, whether you like the way they've won or not, or who they've beaten, the fact of the matter is they are winning. They are getting some momentum. They have told us. We figured some things out before the Atlanta game. And since then, it's been all wins except for the one Baltimore game, and that was a short week. We weren't able to implement everything. Tua, he's winning. That's what you ask your quarterback to do. I think this is the thing a lot of Dolphins fans are worried about, is that they've seen this all before, that this is a house of cards, that we're playing with fire and we're getting by barely and we're beating teams that aren't that good and we're playing down to our competition. And one day it's going to come and bite us. And I think that's what Dolphins fans are really, really worried about, and maybe even protecting themselves against, because they've been burned so many times. But yes, we are winning. We are a winning team. We are getting better, and the guys have not quit. That's another important thing. 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Dan Day. This is Jared Davey. How are you, sir?
Jared, good to hear from you, dude. I'm great.
Hey, listen, I just want to make one observation. I was at the game today. Great game, overcast. This eligible receiver, number 64, they must have said that 15 times in the game. And number 64 is not getting any passes. I think his name's Daniel, but the whole guy, everybody in my section is like, number 64 is an eligible receiver. And it's a great win, but I thought we were cracking up like, here's number 64. We're all getting number 64 jerseys. He's like the unsung hero of the team, I think. He's always eligible, and no one's passing him the ball.
Well, he should be number 6'7", to be honest with you. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But first of all, I've noticed they have to announce every time that he's in an eligible, quote unquote, it's part of the league rules, and they're going to do it a lot. That's Daniel Brunskill, who actually has been a godsend for this team. He has been, instead of Mike McDaniel, let's give him credit. He made an adjustment. He said, instead of me putting another running back in there to chip block and to do this, why not another tight end to block?
That's who he is.
He goes, I'm cutting to the chase. I'm putting a big-ass offensive lineman, Daniel Brunskill, in there to be a quote-unquote eligible receiver, but to be another lineman. He put an extra lineman on the line, and the Dolphins, no one seems to be able to figure it out. Look at Devon Achane.
Correct. That's Devon Achane. And like you said, I was sitting in the end zone, and I saw him cutting across. They put him in motion, and he's laying out the guy on the outside for Achane. So, like I said, the whole section, 132, were like, number 64 is in the game. Let's go. So, Dan Day, enjoy your night, sir.
Section 132 represent. I like that right there. Daniel Brunskill is put in there not to be a receiver, not to be anything crazy, but to be a blocker, an extra offensive lineman. Now, don't think, though, Robert Grieper, there's a special play in there one day where he checks in as an eligible receiver bound by the end zone, and Mike McDaniel says, I need one catch from you.
You think he's Jumbo Elliott?
Yeah, we'll see, man. It happens all the time. 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? 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 Try this again. I'm sorry about that. 104.3 FM WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. 305-567-0560. Hey, go ahead. I'm sorry about that. What's your name?
Oh, no problem. Hey, big fan of the day spot, man. Chris here. Just want to say two quick points. Tale of two cities, a tale of two teams. End of the year for the Dolphins and Canes, both teams are going to look back at one loss. I hate to say it. Dolphins, we're going to look at Cleveland. They win Cleveland, they're 6-6. They're in the driver's seat. Canes, they're going to look back at SMU. They win that, no conversation. We're in the playoffs. Man, we're in the ACC championship. What a shame that these two teams, every year, knuckleheads, they fail. With that being said, man, two will be around next year, and that's about it. As far as the Canes, maybe there's luck. I don't know. But Dolphin fans and Canes fans, another year, another head scratcher. Take it easy, man.
I appreciate that so much. Yeah, now you look back on it. Every single game in the NFL looms so heavy. You beat the Browns, and everything just looks so different for the Miami Dolphins. It's only one game. And with the Miami Hurricanes, honestly, Carson Beck, if you could have two throws back, and both throws cost the team the game against Louisville and SMU, take those two throws back. Just those two throws back. Even one of the throws, take it back. Might be a different animal. That ACC championship game is going to be rough. 305-567-0560, 104.3 FM, WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, buddy? My name is Mario. I'm from Miami.
Mario, Miami. What's going on?
Oh, man, brother, man. Thank you for the show, man. I hear a lot of people say a lot of great things. Everybody has their own opinion, I guess. But, I just want to say that, we can't just put everything on Tua. When the offense is clicking, people are making plays. Everything seems to be working out great. And then when things are not going great, it's obviously we're going to blame the quarterback because he's the one. He's the piece. But I mean, I think it comes down to everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think everybody has to make a play. Let's not put everything on Tua. Obviously, I know Tua is not a generational quarterback, but I just hate that every week we put it on Tua. I get it, but he has some flaws and he has some great things about it. So let's just finish what we got. And hopefully next year we can get a quarterback, man. But for what we got now, let's just move on with that.
Yeah, Mario, as you were saying everything, like it's not Tua, it's not the play calling, it's not the defense, it's not the wide receivers. I was about to say we live in a gray area where it's a whole team. It's everybody's fault and also everybody being right. So, to say what's wrong with this team, well, there's not one thing that's wrong and not one thing that's right, although Devon Achane, it's hard to make an argument that he does stuff wrong. Yeah. But, it's an amalgamation of everything. I think it's the play calling. I think it's Tua. When things go good or bad, I think it's Tua. I think it's the play calling. I think it's the defense. I think it's Anthony Weaver. I think it's Devon Achane. I think it's everything. And it's old tried and true, like you're saying. It's a team game.
Right. And then you got the Buffalo Bills where you got Josh Allen, and everybody said praises Josh Allen. But I think it's, again, we're playing a team football, a team game, and it's just like, it is what it is. I'm a Dolphin fan forever, and that's it.
You know
Hopefully
what?
Next year,
I love that you say that, Mario, because so many people I hear, I used to be a Dolphins fan, but I changed my fandom to whatever other team. And that's, to me, that's Benedict Arnold right there. And if you're one of those fans, hey, look, you have the right to cheer for whoever you want. But to me, you don't sell out your team no matter how bad they are, no matter how rough things are, no matter how much they let you down. You ride with them because one day things are going to turn around. And I know I say this all the time, and Dolphins fans, it seems like it's never going to happen. One day things are going to turn around. And that day, when the Dolphins win the Super Bowl, hopefully you'll either be alive or looking down, and you're going to be that much happier because you rode through the lowest of the low.
Exactly.
You deserve this highest of the high. The guy and the girl that leave the Dolphins and say, you know what, I'm tired of cheering for a loser, you don't get that. You don't come back to the Dolphins and say, oh, I grew up a Dolphins fan. You left. You abandoned your team. I am very strong about that. I'm glad that you said you're a Dolphins fan for life because you're going to be riding a high whenever this team does get to the promised land. I promise. And that almost comes out religious on a Sunday, but I promise you, man, it's going to be so sweet. I've been through it. It's going to be sweet.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the time, brother.
Mario, much appreciated right there. Mario making me feel good right there on this Thanksgiving Day weekend. Creeper, look, we've seen the best of the best teams this year not look so great. We've seen the worst of the worst teams look pretty okay. Could it be one of those crazy seasons that who knows? You got to play it out.
You play to win the game.
You play to win the game. All you can worry about is the New Jersey/New York Jets next week. You're riding a high. Just find a way to win. You know what? They've never gone back to a Super Bowl champ and said, yeah, but it was like the ugliest Super Bowl champion ever. No one ever says that. No one ever cares. It's Super Bowl. This team finishes out the season, wins a playoff game. It'll be a memorable Dolphins team that people will talk about forever. It's a team that everybody had down and out. They came together. They could have quit. They didn't. They won out and won a playoff game, ending a 25-year drought. Is it Christmas wishing, Hanukkah wishing, Kwanzaa wishing? Is it the good vibes from Thanksgiving? Did I eat or drink something crazy on Thanksgiving? Maybe. But you got that at least if you're a Dolphins fan now. You got that. Thank you so much. We still got some more time. We're going to try to call my cousin Vladimir Louison, who was actually on site in the stadium, in the locker room. Going to hear from some of the players. And then, of course, I do want to hear from Tua Tagovailoa. He has been a very polarizing figure, let's say that to the least. And we'll listen to a little bit of Mike McDaniel. We're taking you up to the Sunday night football game. That's going to be live right here on 104.3 FM WQAM. That is going to be a Broncos-Commanders game. And we saw what the Commanders looked like 2 weeks ago. The Broncos have looked very good. So stay with us. This is Game Day Uncensored post-game on 104.3 FM WQAM.
Let's get back to the Game Day Uncensored postgame show on FM 104.3 WQAM, Miami's sports leader.
Don't let any of this fool you. They can say what they want about Mike McDaniel, Tua Tagovailoa, Tyrell Dotson, Jordan Brooks, Jack Jones, firing Chris Greer. True secret to success of this Dolphins team, Daniel Brunskill. They don't want you to know about it. They're saying shh, but they can't figure out Daniel Brunskill. Genius to put in an extra offensive lineman, but parade him around as an eligible receiver. And it sounds like a joke, but notice this team has been drastically better since Daniel Brunskill has been on the team. We can go through the stats. Daniel Brunskill just might be that secret weapon that the Miami Dolphins have helped figure out their season. Remember how Mike McDaniel always goes, we figured out something before the Atlanta game and we've been able to implement it. Maybe that was that secret something. I don't know. Trying to get in touch with my cousin Vladimir Louison. He was at the Dolphins game. He was in the locker room. He always has some good insight. Before we get to the locker room, though, let's go ahead and get to some scores around the league. Woo! Think the Saints are bad? They are. If you don't like the Dolphins, well, they're on a winning streak. If you're like me, grew up a Bo Jackson fan and still keep an eye on the Raiders, woo! They're bad. Beginning of the fourth quarter, they're losing to the Chargers 24-7. The only question is, how in the world did they score those 7 points? Geno Smith.
Brock Bowers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They do have Brock Bowers. Bills. Starting to look a little bit more like the Bills. They're up 16-7 at the end of the third on the Steelers. I thought for a second there we're getting the bad Bills, Grieper. 3 points at halftime. I was like, it could happen. All 3 Super Bowl favorites in the AFC.
Not so fast, my friend.
Losing this week and possibly out of the playoffs eventually. No. So you're probably looking at the Seahawks-Vikings game. Even if the Vikings have J.J. McCarthy, you're probably going, ooh, this is the Sam Darnold revenge game. Seahawks would probably roll the Vikings. If you were thinking that, the Vikings, even with J.J. McCarthy, which he's not playing today because he's concussion protocol, so they're on their third-string quarterback. If you were thinking the Seahawks, Sam Darnold revenge game in Seattle, Vikings with their third-string quarterback, if you thought the Vikings were just going to get rolled over, you were thinking correctly. The Seahawks are whooping that trick in the Minnesota Vikings. 5 minutes left to play. It's 26-0. 26-0. What's the old Simpsons thing? Stop it already. He's already dead. Just run the clock. Get out of there. Buccaneers have their hands full earlier today, but they found a way to win. That's kind of just the way our guy is over there in Tampa Bay. It is 20-17. The Cardinals are having also. You want to talk about a dumpster fire? Ooh, they got some issues over there organizationally.
Yeah, when you have Jacoby Brissett behind center.
You preferred Jacoby Brissett over Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray.
Speaking of $50 million man. Yeesh. Not good. Not good. Baker Mayfield, though, that's our guy. He just grits things out and finds ways to win. Jacoby Brissett's been, at least statistically, balling. 29 for 40, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah, but look what he's surrounded with there.
Yeah. Trey McBride's pretty good, though. Baker Mayfield, 18 for 29, 194 yards, 1 touchdown. He's one of those guys that fun to watch play. He's going to be coming to town later on this year in what could be second last game of the year. Very big game. Jaguars, remember, Trevor Lawrence sucks. He's a $50 million bum. The Jaguars are terrible. Well, they're playing the Titans today, or they played the Titans today, and that's usually a recipe for a win. The Jaguars win 25-3. I know a lot of people here in South Florida are very interested in the stat line. Well, I can tell you right now, Jaguars are 8-4 and looking like a playoff team. Tennessee Titans are 1-11 and looking like they've got the clock ticking for number 1 overall draft pick yet again when the NFL draft rolls around. Trevor Lawrence is a $50 million bum. Some people would call him 16 for 27, 229 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cam Ward, who is surrounded by absolutely nothing, 24 for 38, 141 yards. Been a tough year for that organization and that quarterback and that team. The Rams, everyone ready to anoint them Super Bowl champions. Who's going to stop the Rams? I was going to say Sean McVay is probably the perfect mix of tough coach, and nice coach, being the friend, but still good thing I didn't say that. And for all the people that are ready to anoint the Rams Super Bowl champions, hold tight. Did you get the good Panthers or the bad Panthers? Today you got the good Carolina Panthers. And I mean, they did not let up on the Rams. The Rams kept trying to put them away, and the Panthers kept coming back. Panthers defeat the Rams 31-28. That's right. Carolina Panthers defeat the Rams 31-28. Matthew Stafford, he's looking for that MVP, 18 for 28, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. Bryce Young, he had some big, long passes today, 15 for 20, 206 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's nice to have a quarterback that can throw it down the field. I like that about him. I don't like him as a quarterback, but I like that about him.
Another Alabama quarterback.
Yes, undersized Alabama quarterback. Shedeur Sanders gets to start again for Cleveland. Got a win last week. Did it against the Raiders. So step it up. The other team that used to be close to the Raiders in the Bay, San Francisco 49ers. Could Shedeur Sanders maybe have that magic? Could Shedeur Sanders be a gamer? They sat him for way too long. Kevin Stefanski, what are you doing? You got a gamer. Take on the San Francisco 49ers. A team that knows what they're doing. Yeah, you take him back down to being the other Shedeur Sanders. 16 for 25, 149 yards, 1 touchdown. 16 for 25, 149 yards and a touchdown. That stat line seems familiar. Brock Purdy, who I am also not a big fan of. I'm actually a fan of Shedeur Sanders. I'm not a fan of Brock Purdy. I don't think he's that good. 16 for 29, 168 yards and a touchdown. Not so pretty. Falcons are free falling, as Tom Petty would say. The Jets are ascending. I don't know. Dolphins' next opponent, the Jets, with a last-second deep field goal. The Jets defeat the Falcons 27-24 in the game that everyone seemed to be all excited about. Texans taking on the Colts. Texans defeat the Colts. Texans are now 7-5. Colts are now 8-4. Score was 20-16. CJ Stroud back in the mix. He is a great quarterback. 22 for 35, 267 yards, 1 interception. Daniel Indiana Jones, 14 for 27, 201 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor, and I mean this because I'm putting it in the context of Jonathan Taylor, only had 85 yards. Only 85 yards. Indianapolis Colts, once again, you are 8-4. But you're starting to feel a little bit nervous. Things kind of seem like you're on shaky ground, but we shall wait and see. Of course, our Dolphins won 21-17. The Bills have gone up 23-27 with 14 minutes left in the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tonight at 8:20, you get the Broncos and the Commanders, and your Monday Night Football game is the Giants and the Patriots. Whoa. That's going to be an interesting one. Patriots better not slip up. So that is your scoreboard. Guy that always keeps score for us, especially when he's at the stadium and in the locker room, is my cousin Vladimir Louison. Vlad was at the Miami Dolphins and New Orleans Saints game. He was in the locker room after the game. Vlad, did you get the feel from this Miami Dolphins team that this was a good victory, or that it was just an ugly win, or maybe something altogether different?
Ugly win, but they'll take it. They figured out a way to win, and they still with the motto that they believe. They were 1-6, now they're 5-7. So they're gonna take the wins however they want it, however they can get it. But I mean, I've been listening to the post game and listening to the fans when I was leaving to the stadium. I mean, you're happy with the win. You don't want to lose, but it wasn't a great game.
I do want to ask you this. One guy, and I was saying, it's everybody's fault when you win, everybody's fault when you lose, but it's kind of hard to say it's Devon Achane's fault when we lose. Has he emerged as somewhat of a leader of this team? Do you see in the chemistry with the team that maybe people are starting to look up to him and saying he could talk the talk and walk the walk?
Well, I mean, if he talks, they're going to listen because basically he's the whole offense, and he's been the whole offense since last year. You could see that he's taken away I don't want to say, like, he's the face of the offense. We all thought Tyreek, we all remember when Tyreek was the face of the offense. It's Devon Achane's offense. This is all about number 28. And, getting the 1,000 yards this season, it's, his first time in his career. we just know everything really, really functions when 28 gets going. And that's why you question some of the play calls that you saw in the second half when 28 was rolling like that. There were certain plays you were wondering, like, well, just give the ball to 28. Like, stop. That game should have been a blowout, man. I'm gonna keep it a buck. We keep it a buck here. That game should have been a blowout. And once again, a staple this season is their third quarter non-adjustments. Like, I didn't understand that, bro.
It's terrible.
Second, it's been terrible the whole season.
The Saints look like a different team. I'm not gonna lie,
dude. You know what? Like, they look like a real. I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, my cousin has been telling me that this Saints team. I'm like, who is this team in the second half? And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Olave should have caught that touchdown. That was a touchdown. If Olave catches that, we're talking right now a different game.
Oh yeah, Vlad. If I'm from your angle, Olave, although he was double covered, that was close to a catch.
That was a Moss. He should have caught. That was a great pass by Sloss. But they got the win. Great play by Minka on the 2-point conversion. That basically was the play that sealed the deal. But you could expect a little sluggishness coming off the bye and everything like that. But that should have been a 20-21-0 game. When it was going 10-0 into the half, it's like, I mean, I'm sorry. When they went to the half and they were down it was 16-0. It was like, okay, cool. But this game still had an eerie feel to it. It was like, okay, they're up two scores, but they should be up more. Like, this game should be put away, and it wasn't.
I'm glad you brought up. I'm glad you brought up that 16-0 halftime. I know there's a couple of boo birds and discomfort when they ran that weird just hold the ball and spike it. Was there other points when it seemed like the crowd was a little boo birdie or frustrated?
Absolutely. Absolutely. A couple of throws that Tua did when Tua was getting sacks. Like, Cameron Jordan was having a great game today. I'm like, oh my God, Cameron Jordan, if you want to play another year in the league, all he has to do against the Miami Dolphins. Feels like every time he was, next to Tua. Yes, there were boos because fans, I can't believe this, but fans maybe are starting to believe that this team could pull off something crazy. They see the state of the AFC. They see that the team is winning, but they also have the feel that one play can mess up all the momentum that they've been getting over the last 3 weeks. And if you think about it, they've won 4 of the last 5 games, and they've been winning at home. And now they're 5-7, and they're in the hunt. They're in the hunt, and that's all you want to be, I guess, when you have 5 or 6 games left in the season. Well, 5 now. You just want to be in the hunt. You have a schedule that's favorable, but I don't know right now. Going into December, going into the cold weather, we got to see how this team will be. But at least you have a run game. And you're starting to get some of your weapons back, like Darren Waller came back, Austin Jackson was back. Like, you're starting to get a healthy team. So maybe we'll get a chance to see what this team will look like fully healthy. Defense played great, Dan. And Greek defense played very well, except for the third quarter when it just seems like they never do any adjustments. But other than that, they got the win, and that you gotta be. If you're a Dolphin fan, just be happy with that.
And if you're a Dolphins fan saying, oh, great, next week, the New York Jets, another team we should easily beat, but we're barely going to beat. Good luck to us. Jets showed some fight today, Vlad. You really got to now say next week, going into that game, either team could pull off a win.
Well, I've been saying this all year, bro. Every team, there's so much parity in the league, bro. Right. We saw this the last 2 weeks. I mean, you saw it today. We saw it today with Carolina beating a Rams team that was 9-2 and looked like everybody's Super Bowl favorite. You saw it in during the Thanksgiving game and the Black Friday games. A lot of upsets. It's used to being Indy. Anything can happen. It's a week by week thing. So as you just want to continue this momentum. Jets won a game against Atlanta, last second field goal. It's a division game. They don't want to get swept by the Miami Dolphins. So yes, both teams are going to go play, and they're going to play hard, and it's a rivalry. So it should be a good game. But I don't want Dolphins to think that Dolphin fans to think that, because you beating the Saints and then you got the Jets next week, that is going to be a given easy game. Like I said, the way you started out, people look at you as food now. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they look at you as food. Like, yeah, we can beat you. We can beat you the same way you feel you could beat us.
Man, and those rivalry and division games, a lot of familiarity in there. There is not an easy way through any of those. Before you go, Vladimir Lewisson, got to ask you two questions. Number one, do the Miami Hurricanes get into the college football playoffs?
Yes.
Reasoning?
Yes. Yes.
They're good enough?
Yes, they do. And I think sooner or later, somebody in that committee is going to have to talk about, hey, head-to-head matters.
Right.
Because if head-to-head don't matter, let me tell you this right now, Dan. If head-to-head doesn't matter, you're going to start seeing a change in college football where week one's going to look like a preseason game.
I would say like week two.
Yeah, exactly. Week one will look like week two because you're not going to have any of those Clemson versus Georgia. You're not going to get LSU battling somebody like Florida State. Because think about that right now. If back in the days, there were a couple of years when LSU had lost to Florida State. If it didn't matter, then LSU could have just naturally been in the college football playoffs. Then,
right? If
that doesn't matter, then if I finish the same record as you and I beat you, and it doesn't matter that my win, you're still going to put the opponent ahead of me. Then what's the point? I might as well schedule Coastal Carolina than schedule Notre Dame.
I agree. And you have to look you in the eye and tell you that it actually does really matter. Head-to-head does matter. They're going to have to answer if they put Notre Dame in. One last question, Vlad, got to ask you this. Our beloved Inter Miami, do they win MLS Cup on Saturday?
I mean,
Vancouver.
You got to. Well, look, first of all, Vancouver's a very good team.
Yeah.
That people don't know about.
They beat us earlier this year. We remember that.
Vancouver's a very good team. So I bleed pink. So I'm thinking the Pinks will win. I think this is I want to say this is the beginning of the Messi kind of farewell tour. So if he can win the MLS Cup and then play in the World Cup next year in 26, and then open the new stadium, and then he can call it a career. In his career, I think this is the first step of the pretty much a farewell tour for Lionel Messi. So yes, I do think the Pinks beat Vancouver and become the new MLS champions.
Well, Vlad, I don't care what anybody says. This was a pretty win for you. You did a great job tonight. We thank you. Everything you brought was good.
Thank you, bro. Have a good one, guys.
We'll see you,
Talk to you, Lou.
All righty. So that's Vladimir Lewisson at the stadium. The Boo Birds are out, and they're mostly targeted at Tua Tagovailoa, but the team, all they're saying is we believe, and that is a big step right there for this Miami Dolphins team who win 21-19 over the New Orleans Saints. 21-17, over the New Orleans Saints. We're going to come back. We're going to hear from the man of the hour. We're also going to hear from Tua, a little bit of Mike McDaniel. Plus, we're going to give you our game balls. Robert Grieper, Dan Day. This is Game Day Uncensored on 104.3 FM, WQAM.
QAM, Miami sports leader.
But a win nonetheless for the Miami Dolphins. Doesn't always go the way you wanted it, but you got what you needed. Miami Dolphins, it is a 21-17 win over those New Orleans Saints that are not very good, but that's okay. Hey, look, these are all NFL guys. These are all pro guys. These are all teams that have at least won a game or two this year. You get another challenge against the New York Jets next week at 1 o'clock up in New York. They won a game earlier today also. So any given Sunday is what we always say. You just got to take it one game at a time. We're going to hear from Mike McDaniel, Tua Tagovailoa, and the man of the hour in just a minute. But right now it is Robert Grieper and it's time to pass out some game balls. First, we're going to start with the Offensive Player of the Game. The Offensive Player of the Game is sponsored by Ed Morse Sawgrass Auto Mall. Grieper, who is your Offensive Player of the Game?
I'm going unconventional here this week for the Offensive Player of the Game. Riley Patterson is my Offensive Player of the Game this week.
Riley Patterson put some points
on the board.
And why is that? Points.
Because he scored this week, and as my shirt says, clutch.
He had 13 points alone.
How do you turn that away?
How can you turn that away?
I mean, Mike McDaniel had so much confidence in him. He said, you know what? We're not even going to throw the ball to the end zone. We're going to let him go for a long field goal. And there you go. That's why he is clutch. That's why he is my Offensive Player of the Game.
So at halftime, there was a ton of time to run at least one play, maybe even two plays towards the end zone or to get it closer. Mike McDaniel said, "Not till you guys just sit on the ball, spike the ball with 1 second left. We believe in Riley Patterson's leg more than our whole entire offense.
And more than our 1,000-yard rusher. We are going with Riley Patterson." And there you go.
More than our $50 million quarterback, more than our highly paid wide receiver. Nope. We like Riley Patterson. Vote of confidence. He has to be feeling high today right now after that. Wow.
Jason Sanders, who? There you go.
I mean, if we've got this much confidence in Riley Patterson, I don't know why you'd want Jason Sanders back. Easy stuff right there. Offensive Player of the Game. Once again, I'm going to go not unconventional, but I'm going to go with a guy that I've made it very well known that I like a whole lot, and that is one Darren Waller, coming back from the injury, the pectoral muscle, but coming back from a lot of things in life over the past couple of years. He gets 2 receptions, 47 yards, one of them for 34 yards, and almost, if he could have gotten his feet inbounds, would have scored yet another touchdown on this season. He just seems to be a spark plug, and he makes this offense so much more dynamic and so much harder to figure out, and gives us so much more of a weapon out of the backfield. So it's not just Achane, Waddle every once in a while, Achane. You got to throw in Waller. He causes all types of problems for opposing defenses. So that is our Offensive Player of the Game, brought to you by Edmore Sawgrass Auto Mall. Now to our overall Player of the Game, and our Player of the Game is sponsored by JM Lexus. JM Lexus has the best team in the business with a 4.8 Google rating with over 22,000 reviews and counting. JM Lexus, West Sample Road, Margate. Grieper, your Player of the Game from JM Lexus.
My Player of the Game will be Daniel Brunskill.
Oh,
how about that?
Going a little lefty today, a little awkward.
Player of the Game right there.
Look, since Daniel Brunskill has come in and reported as an eligible receiver, or if you want to say another offensive lineman, this team has been hot. Maybe the rest of the league doesn't. Maybe Mike McDaniel doesn't want the rest of the league to know that.
The rest of the league plays with 5 offensive linemen. We play with 6.
And it has made all the world of a difference. That don't think that there isn't a coincidence that Daniel Brunskill being that 6th offensive lineman, nobody seems to be able to figure it out. My Player of the Game going to be a guy that benefits from Daniel Brunskill. One, Devon Achane. He is just unstoppable. You know it's coming. Try to stop it. You just can't. Devon Achane, 22 carries, 134 yards, one long 29-yard touchdown, and he surpasses 1,000 yards on the season. 1,000-yard rusher for Devon Achane, who at times is our only offensive option. till we get down to the red zone, then for some reason we forget he's in there, or it gets down to fourth down, and for some reason we forget about our best player. But nonetheless, Devon Achane, like I said, you can blame everybody on a team for winning and losing. It's just a little harder to blame Devon Achane for losing when we lose, although we haven't done that lately. So got a little something going on with Daniel Brunskill and Devon Achane. Maybe a little thunder and lightning. Let's call him that. Don't give the ball to Daniel Brunskill. Do not give that ball to Daniel Brunskill. And we're going to go now to our drive of the game. The drive of the game is sponsored by the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Remember, it's a December to remember. You can go check out those models, learn more at Lexus.com. I was initially going to say, our Lexus drive of the game, first drive of the game. I mean, it's in the bag, right? Devon Achane gets that big run, scores a touchdown. It's 7-0, 11-19 into the game. The drive took 3 minutes, 30 seconds. It was 69 yards altogether. 69. And I was like, and at that point, the game was over. Little did I know, the Saints would make a game of it. The Dolphins would not make any adjustments, it seemed like, at halftime. But nonetheless, from something I thought was a sure thing to be drive of the game, not so much drive of the game, but nonetheless, a very good drive in that Devon Achane. Anytime he caps off a drive with a long touchdown run, that makes me feel good. So that's our game balls right there. Speaking of the man of the hour, Devon Achane, he has surpassed 1,000 yards on the season. He is one of the premier, not just running backs, but players in the NFL. He spoke with the media after the game, and heck, you have a game like that, you can come on this show anytime. He was asked about the achievement of going over 1,000 yards this season.
I mean, a lot. Just shows, the hard work that I put in, that me and my team put in, and just stepping stone of mine, and we got to keep moving forward.
How long has that been a dream of yours to get 1,000 in this league?
Always, man. Since I first got here, I feel like my rookie year I had the best chance, but I missed 5 games with 800 yards, so that's kind of like stuck with me. And then like last year, I kind of fell short, so I feel like this year was one of them years that was something that I really wanted to accomplish.
What were you thinking late in the game as you're on the sideline and all the craziness is happening, a 2-point try going the other way, onside kick, and the defense has to get another stop as you're watching all this unfold?
I feel like, man, as an offense, we got to do better. I feel like we can't, we don't want to put our defense, in that position, even though they played a great game. But I feel like down the line, if we want to win big games, we got to step up.
How do you stay grounded through success in the spotlight?
Like I said, like you said, it's going to be, like you said, spotlights. It was a couple weeks ago when we was losing. It was, it wasn't. So you say, we just, it don't matter the outcome. We're going to go out there and play the team, and we're not going to let, the outside, when they know the comments, get in our head, and we're going to go out there and we're going to play 100%.
What happened on the touchdown you scored to start it off?
It was kind of like blocked perfectly. I feel like the corner of the team, he kind of like overran it, and it kind of like made my job easy. It was kind of like, we knew it was gonna have like a guy unblocked, which is a corner, and him overrunning the play made my job easy. Was just go through the hole and untouched, and that's kind of something you want as a running back. When you can get to the hole 5-10 yards untouched, I think any running back can say like that's what you want.
What was the touchdown celebration?
Just a little TikTok dance, but I'm not really into dancing, so I always ask one of my teammates like, okay, what's the celebration this week?
It was through a dance, but then you got, because nobody could tell, and I was like, what is that?
Yeah, it's some TikTok stuff.
On the second half, one field goal from the offense. What was happening in the second half?
I feel like just mistakes, man. I feel like we got to capitalize on third down, and especially in the red zone, we got to score points. That's our motto, 7 out of 3, and I feel like we was in the red zone too many times and we didn't score.
How do you keep the momentum going? Winners of 4 or 5, trying to creep back into that playoff picture.
Just win the next thing. Feel like next week, you guys keep building these wins, and like you said, we came out the bye week, so I'm glad we got that out the way, and now we just got to get back into regular football.
You have any other goals in mind on a personal level, 1,500 or?
Yeah, of course. Like you said, how many yards I can get. It's not like a thing, I just want to get 1,000 yards and that's that. If I can get 2,000, that's the thing. I've been saying, but just whatever, when the opportunity presents itself, I feel like, that's, whatever comes with that, then that's what it is.
How would you describe the identity of this team right now, the way you guys are winning? I mean, you got 298 yards today. You're a bunch of high-octane offense winning those ways. What would you describe the identity of this team right now?
I feel like, we want to be physical. Like you said, we come down, we come to the line. We know everybody know we're going to run the ball. And I feel like we've been running the ball great these past 3-4 weeks. And as long as we keep that in, then that's when, they start stacking the box. And then that's when, 17 make big plays.
Think of Minka taking the 2-pointer back. Do you approve of his top speed there?
Yeah, most definitely. He for sure did better than Sewell. And so I think that for sure going through his mind was, not trying to get caught because, at halftime, we all had something to say to Sewell. So, but he made a play, man. That's just, Minka being Minka, and he's a great player in this league, and he showed it.
How have you changed your approach in preparation, film study, or recovery this year compared to years past?
I wouldn't say nothing really just changed. I feel like, just us as a group, I feel like we just got better with each other. And we got to understanding each other. And for us, if somebody, was to miss a block or something, we try to make them right. You know what I'm saying? As far as pointing fingers, we never point the finger with each other. It's a football game. The other team, they get paid, we get paid, and they're going to make plays. So when they do make a play, try not to, be down on each other and be down on one another. Just make sure, tell them, all right, we're going to get the next one.
Class act Devon Achane before the season. He said he wanted to rush for over 1,000 yards and receive over 500 yards. He only had one target today, but he has surpassed 1,000, and he's at 370 receiving yards. So high expectations, high goals, but very, very attainable for Devon Achane. And the guy that throws it to him, or at least targets him, in the case today, is one Tua Tagovailoa. He spoke with the media. Let's see if it was positive Tua or Tua that maybe puts his foot in his mouth.
Definitely starts with me, starts with my performance, with how I distribute the ball, how I operate the guys. I would say that first, but I want to give our defense, a lot of praise. Also want to give a big shout out to Devon crossing 1,000 yards. That's also big as well. And then also want to shout out some of the friends I made at Joe DiMaggio, Eric, Selena. I see you guys. Just saying what's up.
Tua, can you expand on just how much Devon has meant to this offense this year?
Yeah. As I said in past interviews, he's so versatile, right? You can align him in a slot. You can align him in a receiver stance, in a running back position, you name it. Just the diversity that he gives our offense is what I think makes him very special outside of the ability to run and catch.
What was the struggle most of the day, especially second half? One field goal was the only the offense. What was the reason for?
Yeah, I would say it's, it reverts back to how
How are you personally handling the momentum of this 3-game win streak without getting complacent?
I don't think there's room for complacency in the NFL. There's no room for any team to get comfortable, especially towards the backstretch of the season. And for our team, we don't have any room, for us to be enjoying too much. We got to dig ourselves out of this hole. But it feels good when you get to come off a bye week, little rust here and there. But at the end of the day, you get a win. It's always good.
So Tua Tagovailoa saying the right things, knowing Devon Achane, that's where his bread is buttered. To make things a little more interesting, the Buffalo Bills overcame a 7-3 deficit at halftime and won 26-7. That's right. The Pittsburgh Steelers scored 0 points in the second half. Bills are now 8-4. Pittsburgh is now 6-6. 2 weeks from now on a Monday night, we go up to Pittsburgh and play games. Looking like it's going to be more and more interesting with the way these two teams are playing. And speaking of interesting, it's always interesting to hear from Mike McDaniel. Hear real quick from him. He's basically just saying post-game, he's proud of his guys.
I think it says everything. I think it's third straight, 4 of 5. There's been different formulas in the whole process, but you think you have the right type of guys, but you don't know until you know. It takes a galvanized group of people, talking about from just the locker room and the coaching staff being able to reach those players to be able to pull that off. I think it does say everything about the guys that we have on this team, because it's easier said than done for sure. So you try not to, especially when you're preaching, for me, conviction over perfection to the nth degree to the team. You try not to get caught up in the style of victory, because these are, the idea is to end the game in the stadium with more points than the opponent, and winning football games, you have to learn how to do it a multitude of ways. So when you're able to win, you learn from the negative, the positive, and the bottom line is we have more reason to stay together, more conviction, more belief every single time that you're in the victors column. So I'm very proud of the group, and I think it does say everything.
Yeah, if you're a Dolphins fan, don't get caught up in the style of victory. Just be worried about the win. And today, maybe not pretty, but a win is a win is a win is a win. And you have to be happy about your Miami Dolphins, who moved to 5-7 as they defeat the 2-10 New Orleans Saints 21-17. A little closer than I thought it was going to be, but can't argue with the result. You move on. New York Jets, hopefully another Miami Dolphins takeover when they play the Jets. Jets got a win today, but Miami Dolphins, they are on a heater. And if it's ugly, it's ugly. If it's pretty, it's pretty. But we'll be here next week, right with you the whole way. Kickoff's at 1 o'clock. Pregame starts at 9 o'clock with Brendan Tobin and Alejandro Solana. We'll be back for postgame immediately after the game, right around 4 o'clock. Feels good to get a win. Let's keep those wins going. We know what you're doing, Daniel Brunskill. You are the secret weapon. Grieper and I have revealed you, but that's okay. Just keep making it happen. Congratulations once again to Devon Achane, over 1,000-yard rushing this season, and still plenty more to go. We're going to be with you the whole way. We appreciate it. Inter Miami playing for an MLS Cup championship. Hopefully, when we speak to you next week, the Miami Hurricanes will be in the college football playoffs. And hopefully, when Robert Grieper and I speak to you next week, it'll be a joyous, at least victorious. With this Dolphins team, you never know if it's going to be joyous, but it could be a victorious game against the Jets. Robert Grieper, thank you so much. Always will love working with you. I am Dan Day. This has been Game Day Uncensored Postgame on 104.3 FM WQAM.
WQAM, broadcasting live from the Ed Moore Sawgrass Auto Mall.